Hi guys, so we're going to do Exchange Server 2016 demo on my machine, and where I ask that take a screenshot of this screen with your name showing in the background on Notepad, so you can take the screenshot at that time, try to understand what's going on, and you can ask all the questions that why am I doing this or why not that. So let's try to understand then how the lab will go ahead, and I'll just start that slide that I have uploaded there. So our lab demo, I'll be creating a lab in my machine. There are still students coming. So I'll be creating a lab in my machine. The lab details are as follows: create a template machine. Template machine is for clones. Configure all the options in the template machine. Shut it down with Sysprep. Change memory to 4 MB. We're gonna do that, and I'm gonna explain why we're doing that. And but this is going to then be easier for us to, when we deploy the total three machines there, one domain controller and two exchange servers, right? So it's going to be then a big environment. So what we need to do is, first we're going to create a template machine very carefully. You know, one small step misconfigured and the rest of the whole lab will have issues. So that's why we need to make sure that every step is exactly the same as we're creating. So because we're going to deploy two exchange servers, that's going to get really tough. So I'll just go down to the second page here. So the purpose of template machine is to create clones, to have virtual machines with many configurations in place and ready to be deployed in time. So you create template machine, so you could create clones or copy machines out of that, but that template machine has to be created very carefully. Template VM must never be powered on unless we need to do maintenance. So when you create a template machine in a production environment in companies, you suppose you create a template machine, and that has Windows Server 2016 and the updates for today, whatever Microsoft updates were released. But after 6 months, you need to power on that template machine and then put latest updates and then shut it down again. So you can power it on when you really need it. In a VMware environment, in production environments, normally it's ESXi hypervisors. Maybe you've heard about that. There, you need to convert the template machine into a virtual machine to deploy latest patches there. Here in our VMware Workstation environment, which is a training software, VMware Workstation. So there, you can have only you can power on the template machine anytime you want, and then shut it down with Sysprep. That's the only thing. We cannot create clones if we have a powered on template VM. So we need to make sure that, or I need to make sure that template VM must be shut down forever. So while I'm doing those steps, I'll be explaining what I'm doing and what is. Oh, okay. Oh, what's going on? Why am I not able to admit these guys? Okay, so what? Excuse me. So purpose of template machine, we talked about that, but I'm going to explain in diagram as well quickly, and then we go ahead. So creating two clones and initial configurations. We're going to go for once template machine is done and shut down forever, then we create two clones. We change the RAM of both clones according to machine roles and requirements, and also according to the availability of our hardware, RAM, and CPU. So that's where the hardware is the main thing that really is causing our change of plans as well. We start both the clones and do the following, and this is the configuration that we're going to follow, and rename, and just like we did last time as well in Azure, but now I'm doing it on my machine with VMware Workstation. So first VM configuration would be on first VM, let's install Active Directory and DNS. Let's create a domain, xdomain.local. So wherever I ask you to take a screenshot, just take that screenshot with notepad in the background having your name, full name there. So let's create a copy of the domain admin called your first name admin. Well, those were following, not all. So let's only use this your first name admin for the rest of the configurations in the Exchange server. Let's install DHCP. Let's configure. So we're going to install DHCP. We're going to configure DNS with FQDN the same way we configured FQDN for database environment. Without that, big applications are not, especially for Exchange, you have to have that FQDN configured. Let's create 390 users with PowerShell. For Exchange server, we definitely need the 390 users because we're going to create mailboxes for the 390 users there. So we're going to do that on the first machine. The second machine, we're going to just join it to domain and log in from your first name admin. After that, we're going to start the installation of Exchange server prerequisites first of all on the second VM. Guys, we're going to have third VM later as well. So that third VM will be the second Exchange server. So we're going to install prerequisites one by one, and where I ask you to take a screenshot, just take that screenshot. So you will have to upload those screenshots at the end of the class to that upload link. So these, after we install the prerequisites, we're going to go for Exchange Server 2016, and well, so that's after the prereqs are installed, we're going to deploy the Exchange Server 2016. That takes a long time. And during that we can discuss more features about Exchange. After the installation of Exchange Server 2016, we're going to go for the brief introduction to how the dashboard looks like, how do we open the dashboard, Exchange Admin Center, what are the features there, and then what we cannot do in the cloud, because ultimately after we're done with the demos here for Exchange on-premises installation and some of the management, then we're going to go to, we will all be creating free accounts in Office 365, Exchange Online, and all the features we're going to go through together, which you will be also doing with me. So here, this is the post installation task that we're going to do. So let's get going, let's get started. Okay, so there are questions here. Dylan says, where can we get a VMware license? Dylan, if you have the hardware at home, then the VMware Workstation is there for 30 days. And you can also do that on, that virtual box, which is free. Oh, there you go. Eric says virtual box is free. So, well, on the virtual box, it's just that VMware Workstation is very smooth. But VirtualBox is, we just need to make sure that we have the network card settings are correct. That's where it gives issues. And Hi Dong says, are we going to install 2 new VM on our own laptop, or we keep using the VMs on? So, Hi Dong, maybe you haven't read the email that I sent yesterday. It is going to be my site laptop, and those who don't have that hardware don't have to follow me. And where I ask for a screenshot, just take the screenshot of my screen with your name in the background in the notepad. So you can open notepad, put your full name there, and take that screenshot of my screen where you're not able to do it on your own. So in Azure, it's the college has provided that Azure, but we can see already that we can hardly install SQL Server machines. If we start installing Azure in Exchange Server, then we won't be able to do either Exchange or SQL Server Labs. So one has to be here. Okay, so Amir says 16 GB RAM, CPU, i7, SSD. Wow. Okay, so if you have 16 GB RAM, that's also doable. I will suggest you what RAM you need to give when we're installing that. So this is also okay. 16 GB RAM is also okay. 32 GB is perfect. 16 GB is also okay. Hey Dong, so the thing is, those who don't have hardware, you can just take the screenshot of my screen and just ask questions. But guys, one thing is that if it's a demo from my side, that doesn't mean that you don't have to come to the class. Attendance is the must. First thing, that's what I was told. Second thing, well, you can ask questions, you can still understand, and wherever we're going for on-premises deployment, that's gonna last for maybe 3-4 more classes or till midterm. And then after that, we're gonna go for everyone will be doing the labs with me with Exchange Online in Office 365. Office 365 has no limits. It's you can create as many free accounts, and Exchange Online, the whole Exchange server with all the features is there as well. We need to cover the on-premises features which we cannot cover in Office 365. So that's why I was insisting on going with our labs with Azure. So you could also join, but now we can see we can't go on with Azure. So at least I need to show you how Exchange is really installed and deployed in on-premises in your own machines in the hardware. Alright guys, so that's the background of this. Hopefully we all understand that it's a limitation of resources. But you still get to understand all this, and all the video recording will be there, so you can always repeat that anytime when you're going for jobs and they need you to know about Exchange deployments. So guys, one more thing, you can tell others who are not attending, suppose, which is a very bad idea. I need the screenshots today uploaded at the end of the class, right? So if students are thinking that, oh, he's gonna just show a demo, I don't have to come. No, you have to come, and you need to upload those screenshots so I could mark you. If you don't upload anything, obviously, how can I mark you for that, right? So let's try to go ahead, and we have already spent a lot of time on Azure, but you know that. Okay, so I'm just gonna try to create that environment here. First of all, try to explain that. So we're gonna create the first machine as a template VM, and that template VM, we're going to make sure that first of all, it is obviously Windows Server 2016, and second thing is that it will have some configurations here that we need to make sure that they're there. So first is activation. Sorry. Well, yeah, activation. So the Windows Server 2016. Guys, do you have the download link? Did I provide you the download link? I think I did, but let me just check it out. Those who want to deploy it, do you have the Windows Server 2016, and do you have the Windows Server 20 Exchange Server 2016? I think I provided the whole. Yep. Oh no. Below this one, Azure All Plus. Oh wow, people are joining me anyway. Is it a download link? Wow. Okay. Exchange Server 2016 link. Okay. So. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it was inside. Let me just quickly give you, because it's gonna take like 4 to 5 minutes just to download, and let me just send it on the. So I'll just give the link of my Google Drive quickly. I'm on the other screen looking at it, and Exchange 2016 GBsoft. Okay, that's a whole folder with the 4. Don't go for older software. So I'm just putting the link for the prerequisites. So guys, in WebEx there's a link for Drive, and also in WhatsApp group. So Exchange Server 2016 download link. So I'm just putting it there on WhatsApp, and I'll put it on here on Blackboard as well quickly, and let's go ahead. File. So Exchange Server 2016 download link. So with the prerequisite status, oh, it's a web link. Exchange Server 2016 download link. Okay, done. So refresh your Blackboard, and you will see that there as well, and it's pretty much everywhere. So. Okay, so it's on the top. Just refresh. Okay, guys. As I was explaining that there is that template machine we need to do, and inside the template machine we need to go for activation. Vmware Tools need to be installed as well. That's really crucial for the machines. Then we need to turn off Firewall. We need to configure shared folder. That's a Vmware Workstation feature that would let you copy big software inside the virtual machine from outside physical machine. So without any one of these, the lab will not be smooth. And then IE enhanced security turn off. So some of the options we did on Azure as well. And then there is power options to change idle time account lockout. And then there is double check time zone. Without time zone, Exchange server will have issues. And once these are all done, then the final thing that we need to really carefully do is shut down this template VM with Sysprep. So Sysprep is system preparation utility that pretty much everyone uses in production environments when you're creating templates to create thousands of clones. Okay, Paul says, why is Exchange server a separate ISO? Why not be something that can be installed on any Windows server? So Exchange server is a separate application, and it's either you can have it in exe form or you can have it in ISO form. If it's an ISO, it's actually better because you can mount it to the CD DVD of your virtual machine, so it attaches to your CD DVD, so it's easy. Otherwise, you can just extract from ISO. If you have WinZip installed or WinRAR installed, you can extract this ISO and have the all the exe files, copy the exe files inside the virtual machine, and then just launch the setup from there. So it's just a big application that is supposed to be separately available. And we're about to install it on Windows Server, so obviously whether it is in ISO form or it is in exe form, we can install easily on a Windows Server. We're about to do that after creating the whole basic environment with vendor best practices. So here, shut down this template Sysprep, and then one final thing, this template must never be started. This template must never be started. And if accidentally started, it should be shut down with Sysprep. So what does Sysprep do? Okay, before that, I'm just saying this template must never be started. So we will implement a workaround where we will change the RAM of this template VM to simply 4 MB. Why? Because then 4 MB RAM is not enough to start our template machine. We don't want it to be ever started, and if it is started, you need to shut it down with Sysprep. What does Sysprep do? What's the big deal with Sysprep? The only thing to know here is that Sysprep gives unique SID to all clones. That is a must for all the clones. If all the clones do not get unique SID, they cannot come on the network or they cannot join the domain. There will be a lot of issues if they have similar SID. So what is SID? SID is a security identifier. How does it look like? So it's look like alphanumeric characters, right? So every virtual machine or every clone which is an exact copy of this template machine must have a unique or different SID from each other. So that is only doable when you do it with Sysprep, when you shut down the machine with Sysprep. Okay, Cameron says, I think Paul meant why is it not in the roles and features section of server dashboard? Oh, well, it's not merged into, it's a big enterprise grade application. That's the first thing. Second thing, Microsoft wants to earn, well, if they add it to There's another subscription, I think Essentials. Yeah, in Essentials, which is for small companies, they have added this Exchange over there. And I don't know about Windows 2019, but it's a big enterprise grade application, so that's why it's not added as a role in the Windows Server. That's the first thing. It's a very big application. Second thing is that how would Microsoft earn millions of dollars if they just merge everything to Windows Server? And whatever you merge in Windows Server, pretty much it's free, right? You just have to pay the license for Windows Server. But then if they merge it, then your Windows Server will, right now, what's the size? 10 GB? 12 GB, right? So when you merge Exchange Server with it, first of all, Microsoft loses millions of dollars because nobody will purchase separate licenses. Second thing, that the size of the windows will be huge initially. Suppose somebody don't want Exchange Server. Hey, I don't want Exchange Server. Why do you have that operating system so huge? So in that case, also Microsoft says, oh, you don't want it? Okay, so separately buy it. Okay, cool. Okay, so wait, there's so we screenshot the WebEx window and have your name there in the background when you tell us to have your name. Yeah, like you will say have my name. So when I say my name, so not my name, your name. Yeah, exactly. There you go. So you will have now. I never do this. I never do this. It's only the unique circumstances that I have to do that. I know it's too easy now. But the thing is, I really need to show how in production environments we deploy Exchange Server. And I was actually told that, hey, try to go for more theory and, hands-on. Whatever resources we have, we can't go ahead. So they're also okay. But I want you to show exactly how hands-on, with hands-on, that how we properly configure Exchange Server. Otherwise, I would have gone for what I was told to do. So guys, yes, let's go ahead and we talked about that. But yes, you have to just have your notepad with your full name in the background one and take screenshot of my screen. Those who are not following and don't have the hardware, that's why you're not following. Okay, guys. So this is the template machine we're going to create after we. Whoa, annotation request. Oh, okay. I think it's by mistake. So I'll decline that. So this is template machine we're going to create. Now let me just quickly create the other environment after template machine. How should our network look like? It will look like this. This is the template machine. The clone, first clone we're going to create, it's the domain controller with infrastructure roles. Second clone we're going to create, that is, so this is template VM, and second, so clone one will be your server one. So we're going to stick to your first name. Guys, we can keep it as simple as possible. So S1, your first name S1, or server one. Okay, serve one. Make sure it is not more than 15 characters. If you have a long first name, go for half of your first name, but don't go more than 15 characters, otherwise it won't let you join the domain. So your first name, 01 or 1 would be the name of the machine. The IP would be what we gave there. Oh, actually we did not give any IP on Azure. So 200.1, this would be the IP, and the subnet mask would be 255.255.255.0, and we don't need any gateway, so we're not going for any gateway none. Preferred DNS, so PD, that would be the same IP because we need to deploy the DNS on this as we did on Azure machine as well. And obviously, other than that, we need to go for DNS, DHCP, and 390 users, and also copy domain administrator account as your first name admin. So that's going to be the configuration of the first machine. The second machine will have the configuration. 110. Okay, so here I'm just gonna go for the second machine is 2, which is IP is 2, machine name is 2, the gateway is none, and preferred DNS is 1. we're not installing DNS here. We're not having all this. This is a member server, but it's a very crucial member server because we will install here Exchange Server 2016, and well, we need to log in from this from our your first name admin. That will be an exact copy of the administrator account, right? And then we're gonna go for the third one, and that's gonna be 3 IP3, and it will be a member server, and it will be our second Exchange server. So it's gonna get huge. It's gonna get heavy, even when provided. Oh, okay. There's a question. No, Hamid. SSMS is for SQL Server. For this lab, we don't need that. And Microsoft Visual C++, no. If the link that I provided, okay, so that's a question about the link I provided. What do we need to deploy there? So this is the link. If I go there, oh, okay. There's, hey, does it go anywhere? That link. Specific resource was not found, or you do not have permission. Oh, okay, I need to log in from that. I'll just drag it from there. So what software you don't need to deploy, I'm just going to quickly tell that and then come back to what we were talking about. So I'll drag that screen here. Done. So we need to, if you see that link, we need to go for Exchange Server 2016 x64 cumulative update. CU11 is cumulative update 11. UCMA runtime, VC Redist, yes, this we need. And Windows 10, actually, you know, our Windows Server 2016 and Exchange 2016 is latest, but if it says that, hey, this prerequisite is also needed, then we're going to install that. Otherwise, Windows 10 KB. Normally, when they say Windows 10, that may be also for Windows Server 2016, but not specifically mentioned there. So we can deploy all four here. Exchange Server 2016, download it. If you don't have it, UCMA runtime is a very small utility. I'm going to explain that. So we need to download that, and VC Redist underscore x64. We need to download that, and then Windows 10 download, but we may not be able, we may not use it, but still download it if in case there's a surprise. So, but these four only we need to download. If I put older software, what was there? So don't go for older software. You can see cumulative update 1 series. That's too old. In fact, I should remove it. Okay. So cumulative 11. So guys, hopefully you have downloaded. Those who are following have downloaded all four from this link, which I gave in WebEx and also in. But we don't need to download anything else. It's Exchange Server stuff. So I'll just simply put it back here. Okay, so let's keep going. I'm on the right. Yeah, we were talking about this. Let's try to go ahead. So these are the roles, and we need to reach here, right? And the purpose is to explore the DAG functionality, which is this is what you will find in production environments. There in wherever they have Exchange servers still on premises, although they're all going towards Exchange Online, but not everyone has yet moved. So we're going to ultimately go to DAG. That's why we need 2 Exchange servers. Okay, so let's go for our template machine here and create that. Then we're going to create 3 clones out of that, and we're going to configure them one by one. So it takes patience and time to create the perfect environment where Exchange server should not have any issues to be installed. If we have any one step missing, and there you go, it's going to start giving you errors. And also we're doing live, so obviously anything else, any other error can come as well. Okay guys, so I'm just gonna go back to my so I am remotely connected to my desktop. Well, remotely means it's just sitting beside me in my home. So from laptop I'm connecting to my desktop here. So here, well, yeah, I teach in other college as well. Okay. So here I'm just gonna open the VMware Workstation, and well, there are some machines already showing here. So I'll just try to put that there. So let me just check the space for the drives that I have. I'll just put 235 GB is good, hopefully. Okay. Oh, 759 GB C drive. Okay, that would be good. So guys, I'm just gonna start the installation in VMware Workstation. So if you don't have those who are already have installed, so VMware Workstation can be found from www.vmware.com. You need to create a free account here in vmware.com and download VMware Workstation Pro if you want. Otherwise, there's another one, VirtualBox, that is free. VMware is not free. It's for 30 days trial free. Then VMware stops working. Here, Oracle VirtualBox, this is free. You can just create the environment whenever you want in your in your machine. Hopefully, you already have your workstation, or you may have used it already. So if whoever needs more time to follow the labs, just let me know. Just email me, and you can submit the screenshots later as well if you're fully doing that and you need some more time. Alright, guys. So alright, guys. So yeah, I'm at home. Yeah. So let's do it. So let's do what? Let's create our first template machine, and I'm gonna switch to the other diagram here, and that is showing all this configuration. So I'll take a picture of that to put it. These are all the steps I need to go for. So I'll put it on WhatsApp as well, so you would know, oh, this is the next step and this is the next step, and also putting it on OneNote, those who have access to that. Okay, so I'm in my desktop now, and there I'll just go for this VMware Workstation that I've opened, and I'm going to click Create New Machine. So I'm going to click that Create New Machine here, and typical setup is okay. That's one thing. Now, guys, the thing with Windows Server 2016 and 15.5 VMware Workstation. Okay, so Yusuf Khan says I'm installing it right now. When are screenshots due? Well, screenshots are due today midnight, but if you send an email with a reason, so you can send it tomorrow as well, or by tomorrow night. Okay, so guys, here, what happens is that we want to. So what happens is that we want to avoid an error. There's a bug that is, it comes as if you install Windows Server 2016 with on VMware Workstation 15.5. What happens is that for majority of the students, I've seen that the license error or license bug comes, right? So in order to avoid that bug, suppose a few of us don't have it, but majority of us have it among those who are following. So I'm just going to go for the workarounds, because if the student says, oh, I have a license error with Windows Server 2016 deployment, so then I have to delete that machine and I have to reinstall that machine again, and with this workaround. So why don't we just start with that workaround when we are installing Windows Server 2016? Maybe if you install with normal, what we need to do here is just select this and click Browse to give the ISO. I'm not going to go this way. I'm going to say I will install the operating system later. I'm trying to do a workaround where I'm trying to avoid that license error that the majority of the time it comes while this is just a trial version of 2016 we have. So I'm just going to go for I will install the operating system later, and then click Next. And then Microsoft Windows, if it shows here, so maybe you're on Windows 10, so you can change it. Just go down to search for 2016, and there it is. I'm going to select Windows Server 2016 there, and then I'm going to click Next here. So here I really need to give some proper naming. So this is first of all a template machine, so I'm just going to call it that, template, and then my first name, and then it is GB and it's today's date, which is 29Sept 2020, right? So that's the template machine, and yes, it is on Win 16 or Windows Server 2016. Now, second thing is that some of you may have a E drive as a second drive in your machine. I'm not going to click that browse button. I'm not going to click that browse button, but I have a D drive and E drive as well. So if you want to deploy this machine on a drive other than C drive, then you can only change the drive letter here, and that is also okay. If you don't have any other drive, just keep it C. I have a lot of space in C drive, so I'm just going to keep it C because of that. But otherwise, normally I put simply D or E drive here, but do not change the folder structure. But if you do click browse and then you change the folder structure, it's also okay. It's no big deal, right? But I'm not going to change the folder structure here, and I'll keep it C. Suppose you don't want to install in C, you have less space, you can select E only here or D only, whichever is your drive letter available for you, right? So I'm going to keep it C, but this is the name I gave, and click next. So I'm going to give here 200 out of, okay, can you go back 1 second? Dylan says, Dylan, do you see this? Yeah. Oh, 2016. So guys, here, my request is take a bit more time. You don't have to finish it today, but if you're really stuck, I will be helping at after the class. Then if you're really stuck somewhere and it's not going away, then I have to continue to at least record the video, and I will be remotely connecting to your machine after the class, right? So then you have to sit back, and you will be having enough time after that as well if you're stuck with something, right? So okay, if this is done, I'm gonna click next. And did you load in the? Oh, okay. Zogil didn't just go for the third one. I will install the operating system later. Do not load now. Hopefully everyone has, those who are following, have Windows Server 2016 downloaded to their machine. If you don't have the ISO, obviously. So select the third one. I'm not selecting the browse and ISO option. Okay, next. And then 2016 here is the reason you went the 200 GB. Yes, I'm gonna give the reason now. So now the rest, hopefully then you're okay with the rest of the options. And I selected 2016. Oh, great. Okay, so template, your first name, GB, 29 September, and I'm gonna click next. So the thing here is that 200 GB, you can give it 300 GB, you can give it 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte even. So I'm just going for, as a habit, 200 GB Exchange server, and this is a template machine, right? So the first machine is only having domain controller and DNS and DHCP. They don't take a lot of space, so 60 GB would have been okay for the first machine. But the second and third machine, we will be installing Exchange server, and it expands fast. Still, we would have given like at least 100 GB there. But it's going to expand up to that. Even 60 GB, even for the second and third machine, are okay. 200 GB is just out of habit. You can make it 100, you can make it 300 as well. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, suppose you have, this is thin provisioned, right? So thin provisioning is a concept here that if you install, you're giving a size here, it's not going to occupy that much size on your physical disk. Suppose I give here 800 GB. So we don't need 800 GB free space or more than that to create this. That is called thin provisioning. Thin provisioning just means that whatever software you deploy, it will only need that much space. So this software is already configured for thin provisioning by default. So I'm giving out of habit 200. You can give 300 or 150, but don't go less than 100. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second thing is single file or multiple file. Single file means that this disk will grow up to 200 GB. If it's a big disk, suppose you want to copy it over the network to a better machine later. If you copy one big single file, suppose the file has grown up to 120 GB. When you copy that one single file over the network, it's gonna take long time. or it might even drop packets if there's a network bottleneck there. So do you want to make this disk a single file, or do you want to divide this disk into 4 GB chunks of file, right? So as soon as the size increases, if it reaches 4 GB, it's gonna create a separate file, 4 GB again, and 4 GB again, 4 GB again, 4. So it's gonna divide that one disk into 4 GB chunks of file. So when you go copy smaller sized files over the network, you can easily transfer them or copy them over the network. So that's the purpose of these two options here. The single file makes it less messy on the network, on the disk. On this, so I'm just choosing single file, but hopefully you understand the purpose of single file and multiple files here, and why I put 200 GB here. So this is out of habit, but don't go less than 100, and click next. So guys, here we're going to customize the hardware, because all 3 clones will have this exact copy now. So this machine has to be carefully created. So I'm just going to go for customize hardware. So in my desktop, I have 24 GB RAM here. But right now, a typical RAM here would be, we can give 8 GB. So if we have 3 machines, so 8, 8, 8. Normally we will give the first machine, the domain controller, we're going to give 2 GB only. That doesn't need a lot of RAM. So later we're going to change those RAMs. But we're going to give more RAM to the Exchange server machines, because Exchange server consumes whatever RAM you give. Suppose you gave 64 GB. During peak hours, it's going to reach 95% of 64 GB. Suppose you give 128 GB. Suppose you give 256 GB. It has a tendency to reach during peak hours when hundreds of users are connected. It tends to peak 95% of that too. So anyway, right now, typically we're giving 8 GB RAM here. And processors, when we go to processors, it's 2 processors, 1 core is okay, because I have i7 quad core, so it's going to be okay. So 2 processors okay, and let's keep it speedy. And third thing is the CD DVD, where we do not have, we haven't given the path of the Windows Server 2016 ISO, and we're not going to give now. So, but later I'm going to tell you when. So then network adapter. And why I'm doing that, we already explained that because of the workaround. Otherwise, you will get an error. Majority of the students who are following may get an error. So I'm going to go for network adapter. In network adapter, we have bridge, NAT, host only, and custom. So bridge, what does bridge do? I'll just, last time what happened when I came back from the break, I forgot to resume the video. So nothing got recorded after the break. So I had to re-record on Sunday. That was not good for me. Okay, so hopefully I remembered to resume recording after the break. So okay guys, here network adapter is NAT. NAT is network address translation, which is it will provide you the internet connection behind this NAT protocol while you're having private IP there. So bridge is that if your virtual machine is selected to bridge, then your virtual machine is exposed to the physical network, your home network, where your devices get IP from your DSL router, right? So this machine will be exposed to the physical network, and it will be part of the physical network, and it will get an IP directly from your DSL router if you bridge it. In production environments, in companies, if you bridge it, obviously the monitoring software there will be able to detect your machine, as it will be part of the physical network of that company or here at home. Now, why don't we bridge it, or why do I not recommend that? Because first of all, we don't want to be part of the physical network of our home. Second thing is, if you install DHCP here on the first machine and it is on bridge, so your other devices at home or in the office will start getting IP from your DHCP, because your machine is exposed to the physical network and is distributing IP addresses from DHCP. So it's always recommended to not go for bridge and go for NAT. If you need internet, yes, you can still go for bridge if NAT is not working. Okay. Paul says, would it be a good idea to create one network card with a NAT and one network card on an isolated? Wow. Hey, Paul, I was going to exactly go this way. Exactly, yes, you're right. This is the way we will be going. First network card will be the private network between the virtual machines, and second network card only we will add and connect to NAT when we really need internet. Otherwise, we will disable that second network card. So exactly as you said. And host only is that the first of all, virtual machine does not have internet connection. And second thing is that host, what is host? This Windows 10 is your host on which your VMware Workstation is working. So this virtual machine will be able to communicate with the host, and that's it. You want to copy back and forth any software from physical laptop or desktop to your virtual machine, so host only is the option, but you're not having internet connection then. So custom, in custom, what you see here is if you select custom, there are 19 networks here. So these 19 networks are like VLAN. Now, I think every one of you have gone through Cisco course, so I expect you to know, or hopefully you know, what is VLAN. It simply segments the ports on the switch, so the machines on the same switch connected may not be able to talk to the same machines on the same switch, but in different ports. So, okay, in English, what it means is that if you select, suppose, VMnet 12, two machines are connected to VMnet 12, and other two machines are connected to VMnet 13. So the two machines with VMnet 12 cannot communicate with the two machines connected to VMnet 13. VMnet 13 is a separate network. VMnet 12. This is just for separation of networks. So you can see here I have some machines here for one network, some machines here for another network. So I should connect these three machines to, suppose, VMnet 11, and I should connect these three machines to, suppose, VMnet 18. So they will not be able to communicate with each other, even though I have given exactly same name and exactly same IP addresses to three here and three here. I mean, like server 1, server 1, server 1, server 1, server 2, server 3, server 1, server 2, server 3. Suppose I did that. So the main thing is these are separate networks. So again, one more point is our three machines must be on the same VMnet. So I'm going to choose out of habit VMnet 15. No particular reason. You can choose 16, you can choose 14, you can choose 12. Other than that, you can choose anything. But the thing is, all three machines must have the same VMnet. That's the first thing. If your one of the machines has separate VMnet, that machine will not be able to communicate with the other two machines. So we just understand now, hopefully, that these are just separate networks, and our three machines have to be on the same VMnet 15, 15, 15, or 14, 14, 14, or 13, 13, 13, whichever you choose. They all have to be on the same VMnet, right? So hopefully we understand that. So right now, for the template machine, I'm going to go for NAT. Why NAT? The Windows Server 2016 that, guys, the Windows Server 2016 that those who are following, if you have that, and do you have it activated, or is it a trial version? So what I have is a trial version, which means that I have to activate it by connecting it to internet connection. If you have an activated already, you can still follow the configuration that I have, but you don't have to really wait for it to get activated. But if you have the same as I have, the trial version of Windows Server 2016, then you can follow what I'm doing. So I need to keep this template machine connected to NAT. So the clones will also be connected to NAT, right? Which is okay. Initially, we need internet connection. In fact, I need internet connection because my Windows Server 2016 is a trial version, and trial version can be activated for 6 months, which is more than enough, right? 6 months when it connects to internet. So that's why we're going to connect to internet, and it will download some automatic files in the background, which will activate it for 6 months or 180 days. I'm going to show you that. So anyway, on network adapter, we're going to select NAT, or we're going to keep selected NAT, and then USB, sound card, printer, display. Yeah, it's okay. They're there or not there, doesn't matter. Well, especially display we need, but the other we don't. Okay, guys. So the only change on this page is the 8 GB memory, the 2 processors, and the NAT network adapter. So in fact, the only change was 8 GB RAM. Other than that, all are defaults right now. So I'm just, if that's done, then guys, this is our first screenshot here. Actually, hey, we don't have a name here, right? Oh, there's the name. So we can just drag this down. right? So it was like this. If I drag this down, so there's the name here. So those who are not following, you can just take a screenshot number one and just put your full name in Notepad and take this screenshot number one. So template machine configuration is the title for the screenshot number one. I'm going to put that sample screenshot here. Those who are following will have your name will be there. Those who are not following, you can just take the screenshot of my screen and have your name in the background notepad on the notepad. Okay, so Jacob says, could we possibly use 4 GB of RAM? Yes, sure. So guys, if there are laptop hardware limitations, it's not a must to go for 8 GB. In fact, sorry, I forgot to mention some of the students have, if suppose you have 16 GB RAM, so I should be telling you as well. So yes, go ahead and go for 4 GB. Installing Vmware again. Oh, okay. No, I did not split the disk, Dylan. I did not split the disk. But don't worry, I mean, we don't have to, it's not critical to do that lab, finish that lab today. So if anyone's falling behind and do want to follow, you can submit it tomorrow as well, or the day after tomorrow. So the thing is that I just wanted to go ahead and record the most out of our lab here. So guys, those who want to go for 4 GB, please go ahead with 4 GB. It's okay. And for 16 GB, I'm gonna give RAM selection there, and for the above that, I'll also show that. So go ahead and give 4 GB, which is okay, and take a screenshot. So if you've taken a screenshot, I have already while showing this name here. So I'm gonna put that screenshot. So I'm gonna put exchange, or I think it's mail server, and then equals screenshot one, and that would be template created. So I'll put that sample screenshot. Please have your name on the notepad in the background, and take this screenshot of my screen, those who are not following. And so guys, hopefully, so I would just want to have your screenshot in the document by the end of the class, and you can upload those. Okay, yeah, single file, Dylan. Yeah. Okay, so if screenshot number one has been taken and you've all taken the screenshot here, and while you were taking screenshots, you had your full name there showing in the notepad as well. So each screenshot having your name in the notepad would be a good idea. And let's go ahead. Dylan, you can ask questions. So you can just type there in. I'll just tell you. So that's it. 8 GB or 4 GB, whichever you want to go for. 2 processors, and well, no change other than the RAM here. And let's click close now. So I'm gonna click close now, right? Okay. So and then I'm gonna click finish. So guys, well, we know that we didn't give the operating system yet, so I'm not powering on the machine. I need to make one more change because of this VMware Workstation 15.5. Normally it is on UEFI, which is the advanced form of BIOS, and I need to right click here on that machine while it's shut down. While it is shut down, I'm just right clicking the virtual machine and then going to settings. Right clicking the machine and going to settings. What I'm doing here, so I'll show you now. Once you right click the shutdown machine and go to settings, you go to options here, and in the options there's a last one that is called advanced. Once you click advanced, you see that it's on UEFI selected. We can select it to BIOS. Now it can be UEFI as well. It's just that with the UEFI there are some newer options there, and BIOS will show us some of the familiar options to boot from the machine. So I'm just changing it to BIOS. So wait, I didn't see that it was okay. No, Dylan, did you shut down the machine? Is the machine shut down? Okay, you got it. So options, and then advanced, and then BIOS, right? Once you've done that, let's press OK. Now what we can do is we can simply power on the machine. We know that we did not give the path of the operating system, but this is a workaround that we're going for. So I'm going to power on the machine without an operating system now, and it obviously it's going to say operating system not found, or it's looking for, it is booting from network, and it's not going to find anything. So yes, it is okay. Now while the machine does not have an operating system and it is giving this error here, or whatever error it gives, so then we need to give the path of the operating system now. And this is a workaround. I don't know why that error comes, why that bug is still there. But once you do this, now give the path to the CD DVD of Windows Server 2016 while it is started and giving error. And then we'll restart the machine again, and you will see that the error for the license will not come. Okay, so so Brady says here, shows a screenshot getting an our Vmware Workstation. So let me just show that here. Oh, authorization service per contact. So for this error, if you get that, sometimes what happens is in the services area of your Windows 10, what happens is that this authorization service does not work. It does not serve VMware authorization service. So Brady, can you see this? You can right click on this Windows icon and go to run. Right click on Windows icon and go to run and type services.msc. So services.msc. Hopefully you're following. Yes, we can change firmware type. So Hamid, if the installation is done, then we don't have to change the firmware type at all. But if installation has an issue, then we can change it. Yeah, no change before, as Windows uses one or the other for the boot. Yes, either one or the other, exactly as Cameron said. So Brady, if you put services.msc, then press OK, and whenever it opens today. Come on, move it. All right. So services, and the name of the service is VMware Authorization Service, right? So obviously it's alphabetical. So select somewhere here and type on the keyboard V. So you would see when you type on the keyboard V, then you see this VMware Authorization Service. So make sure that you start it. It is running for me, but for you it's not running. So right click here and start. Obviously it's not gonna start if your machine is started. So shut down your machine, and well, maybe it's shut down. So just go ahead and start and then try to start the machine again. Hopefully you got it ready. VMware Authorization Service. So anyone else gets that. So this is the T-shoot for that. And I'm gonna minimize this or close this. So okay, so guys, I'm just gonna give the path of the operating system and simply restart the Windows from here, right? So I'm gonna right click here and go to settings, and now I can go to CD DVD, and in the CD DVD use ISO image file. Now I'm gonna give that path, and I'm gonna select that and click browse, and I'm gonna look for or search for where is that GBsoft, oops, sorry, it's C drive, ISO, and Windows Server 2016 here. Okay, we're good. Windows Server 2016 and press OK. So guys, I've just given the path of the operating system. Guys, one more thing here. I'm going to show you, and if you later get that error, then check it out. So right click again here and go to settings. When you're selecting the CD DVD, make sure these two boxes are checked, otherwise you cannot go ahead. So I went to right click, I went to settings, I went to CD DVD, make sure these two boxes are checked, right? So otherwise you won't go ahead. Okay, so I have that ISO mapped to the CD DVD of this machine. What I can do is right click and power and restart guest. So now it should not give us the license bug error. Where can I download the 2016 ISO? Dylan says, oh. Okay, see this? Evol. I'm just sending the link. And go for ISO. So here's the link in WhatsApp, WebEx, and download Windows Server 2016 Evolve. Well, normally they are inside the desktops of George Brown College machines, but obviously we don't have those machines. So okay, so it's in WhatsApp. It's also in there in WebEx. Okay, guys. So here the machine is started. It's not compulsory to finish the lab with me. 200 GB of storage. Yes, Yusuf, 200 GB. So it's not compulsory to finish with me. You can finish it after the video is released. But let me, show you the lab in this video, right? So, okay, guys, here, time and currency format. I need to go down and select Canada, English Canada, right? Why? Because it will select my time zone and it will correct my time. If time or time zone is incorrect, the domain controller cannot properly communicate with Exchange server, and the same thing from Exchange to domain controller. So time zone and time has to be correct. If you forget from here, obviously when the installation is finished and you can log in, and then you can correct the time zone from control panel as well. So I'm just trying to fix it from here. So you just have to select English Canada or whichever country you're connected from. Well, why am I saying that? Obviously you're all in Canada, right? So oh, I was going to go for Canada. Where is it? Okay, so English Canada will select or fix your time zone and time, and correct time is very critical for network services to communicate with each other. So if you have done English Canada, let's click next. Obviously the rest of the options are very common. Other than that, you must make sure that you have selected data center. Any small quick questions you can still all ask in the chat as well, but if you're stuck big, then wait for the video and then follow, and just email me that, oh, I was stuck because of this, and I'll give you enough time. Don't worry. So Windows Server 2016 data center evaluation, I'm going to go for that, although you can go for standard edition as well. But suppose you have 200 mailboxes of end users in your Exchange server, or actually not 200, 1,000 or 2,000 mailboxes. So the more you want to scale, suppose you have a lot of users there and whose mailboxes are in Exchange server, so better if you see that, oh, I'm gonna have more than 1,000 mailboxes, maybe I will be expanding to 2,000 mailboxes, maybe even more. So better select the underlying operating system as data center. That really offers good scalability for the application that you install on top of the data center. Okay, I have the ISO from GB, which is also very good. Yusuf Khan or anyone else, if you have the ISO from George Brown, that does not require activation. It has the key inside, so that's really good. You can use that. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna select the data center evaluation and click next. And then accept the license agreement, obviously, and click next. So we're not upgrading from anything, so it's a fresh install. So we're gonna click custom. So it's gonna be custom, and we're not gonna partition the 200 GB further, so we're going to keep it 200 GB and click next. So now it's going to install that Windows Server 2016, and we had to just go through the workaround. Second thing, I could have gone even faster, but the thing is we should understand what we're doing and why did we choose this option and why not that option. So if you understand what we're doing, then there's any benefit of attending the class. If we're just like, hey, Extents were installed, what do we do? No idea. So okay, so there's we used in previous steps. Okay, what is that? Previous semester. Oh yeah, you're saying that Arshan, the operating system that we used in previous semester, you using? Yes, sure, use that. Okay, I got this when I restart. So Cedric says I got this when I restart. Cedric, if it takes long, then you may have to. So yeah, here just right click on this white screen. Cedric, right click and go to settings and give the path, go to CD-ROM after going to settings. So right click here, go to settings, go to CD-ROM, CD-DVD, and go to browse, and wherever your 2016 server, Windows Server 2016 is, just give the path of that, Windows Server 2016, and then press OK and just reset this machine again, restart this machine again. So just give the path of the operating system. Oh, also make sure that when you're giving the path of the operating system, the two checkboxes that I showed before should be checked. Let me show that again. So what I'm saying, while it is installing, so you see this, right click, settings, and then you go to CD-DVD. Make sure these two checkboxes are checked. Maybe you've given the path already, but make sure these two are checked. So I'm gonna cancel out from here, and it's I'm on 43%, 44%. So guys, some of your machines might not be okay. Cedric shows another screenshot here. Oh, it's not Exchange, Cedric. These are Windows. Windows, not Exchange. Windows. Where do you get Windows? So guys, don't worry about today. If you were not able to submit the lab today, you can follow the video and easily submit the lab before the next exchange class, right? You have 1 full week for that. So Cedric, the download path is there in the text. I'm just gonna give you that download path for Windows Server 2016 here in WhatsApp again and in WebEx again. So download from here Windows Server 2016. I understand that some of us were not. Oh, okay. So I think you have it. If you have the George Brown Windows Server, Windows, no, that's Windows. Yeah, you need to download all that, but that's not Windows Server 2016. This is Windows 10 update. So no, I just gave you a path. Download from there, or if you have from George Brown Windows Server 2016 already, just use that. Guys, how did you get that Windows Server 2016 from George Brown? Anyone gave you? Any teacher gave you? You saved it? If otherwise, normally there is DevTools. Oh, from USB. Oh, okay. So like the teacher gave you in USB. Oh, the USB that they distributed. Okay. Yeah, prof from GB system. Copied that. Oh, okay. So Cedric, you don't have that. You can use that because that is activated one. Otherwise, this link gives you trial one, which is also pretty much the same. You just have to activate it. I should have used the GB one as well. I then don't have to activate. It was on C drive of the desktop. Okay. Normally there's a Microsoft Ignite where you can download any software. If you have access to Microsoft Ignite, you can download from there as well with the key. It's free for all the George Brown students. I can sell it if anyone needs. Oh. So yeah, there's business going on. I think on eBay it should be already there. It may be. Okay, I have it on Google Drive. Okay, so Cedric, you can go to Yusuf's house and grab it from Google Drive. Oh no, sorry, I thought the stick you're saying. So you can just share it with whoever wants. Thank you. Should we choose 2016 data center? Yeah, data 2016 data center version, the last one. Data center, not the second last, the last one. So the desktop experience, right? Okay, thank you, Yusuf. Desktop experience, exactly. The last meals. Okay, so template. Um, it's restarting. So guys, if you're falling way behind, don't worry. You can just follow up with the video as well. But the thing is that uh, we cannot spend a huge amount of time on fixing everyone's machine because I'm giving you a 1 week time. So you don't have to really do it with me today, but catch up before the next class. So guys, there's a class password that we have used in our Azure as well. So that class password, I'm just gonna type here. Hopefully you all remember that. So it's small abc wc shape 123 and without shape 123, right? So this is the class password I'm about to give here as well. Again and again, I'm gonna remind that make sure that your machines are stopped because you don't want to consume the $100 by Microsoft that has been given to you. Uh, okay, so like it got deleted from Google Drive. Never mind. Oh, yeah, it's better to not share that. Okay, copyright. So Google Drive is really smart. That's very good. But I've given the trial version already link there, and by in 4 to 6 minutes it just gets downloaded as well. Mega is encrypted end to end. Oh yes, Mega is cool. So I'm gonna give that password. Small abc covers shape 123 dot shape 123 and click finish. Right. So give the class password and then click finish. So then let's log in and try to go for the. You guys are really smart. I really understand that. I'm sure you're gonna even try to catch up even now. But guys, the thing is that uh, the class was too slow when I was trying to fix everyone's issues, machine issues. Instead of slowing down the class and not covering enough topics, I should give you those who were not able to you know complete the lab. I would give you more time, but do not try to slow down the class to a level where I'm giving half an hour to a student, then 20 minutes to another student, so we can't cover then topics. If it's quick one, please let me know. I'll tell you what to do. But if it takes time, then wait and email me and just wait for the video and finish it before the next week. I will extend the deadline. Okay. So, okay. Now my machine is installed. Now, if you're using your George Brown Windows Server 2016, the good thing about that is that it automatically installs Vmware Tools as well, and then it asks for a restart as well. In this trial version, which is not George Brown version, obviously, I got it directly from Microsoft, and I gave that link to users. So some of you might have a George Brown Windows Server 2016 that installs VMware Tools automatically and restarts, so go ahead and restart that too. Others, I'll be installing VMware Tools. But first of all, if it's a trial version that you're using, so first thing I want to show you is that because we put the machine on internet, so it has internet already, and I need to minimize the okay, I'll I'll post the download link at the GPC Windows server in 20 minutes. Oh, okay. Thank you, Amir. So here, guys, I'm gonna minimize that, and I want to show you that those who are using the trial version and not the George Brown Windows 2016, your Windows would have been activated for 6 months by now because it has internet connection, and this message should be coming here if it's a trial version. If you have a George Brown Windows 2016, you don't have to go for this, right? Because it's already activated. So for me taking so long for me to download from the Microsoft servers. Ouch. Okay. Dylan, you have all week. Don't worry. But let's try to understand and try to get those screenshots. But that's very good that many of you are trying really hard to create the lab on your side as well. I salute you for that. Oh, there you go. Paul already has that mega link for George Brown Windows, I think. Oh, all my ISOs. Oh, okay. Let me shop from there as well. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead, and that's the first thing. I'm just gonna start counting according to the steps we need to take. Also in there. Oh, okay. So the first thing is activation. So I got my activation already there because it was connected to internet, and it downloaded automatically some files in the background that activated it for 6 months for me. I should have used the George Brown one, so I don't have to then do activation, but it just happened at itself as well, no time. Second thing, I need to install Vmware Tools. Vmware Tools, Vmware Tools offers advanced features. It's enabled actually, and user friendly environment. So Vmware Tools are a must, and so that's why I'm just going to install Vmware Tools. Your machine must not be there without a Vmware tool, because you won't be able to copy paste basically anything if you don't have Vmware Tools installed. So Vmware Tools offers advanced features and user-friendly environment. We're going to install that now. If it is already installed in your machine, that's okay. If not, then you can install it. I'm going to right-click here on the template machine, and I'm going to go to this install Vmware Tools. If it is already installed, you don't have to follow that. If it is not installed automatically in your Windows, then follow me. So install Vmware Tools. Once you click that, I right-clicked here and just clicked this install Vmware Tools. So what it does is it mounts the Vmware Tools to the CD DVD of your virtual machine. So I'm gonna select this yellow box. I intentionally missed that pop-up. You could have just clicked that and gone ahead as well. Suppose you missed that pop-up here, so you can go to the File Explorer or the yellow folder and click this PC, and the Vmware Tools are mounted to the DVD of your virtual machine. All you need to do is double click, next, install, that's it, and restart. You must restart at the end of it for the advanced features to take effect. So the good thing is we don't have to do it on 3 machines. We are just doing it on template, and the clones will already have all these features installed. So I'm going to double click that now. Okay, so that's the, okay, I opened the mega, I'll just move it somewhere else. Oh. Wow, thank you for sharing. So that's specific George Brown resources. Amazing. Oh, yeah, cumulative update 11. That's good. Oh, CTR beta 7Z. Amazing. Thank you, Paul. So, okay, I'm just gonna go back here. I was looking at that screen on the other screen. Okay. So, well, there's a pop-up here for the Vmware Tools. I'm gonna go down there to the pop-up that is showing here, and I'm going to click next. Typical is okay, so no changes in that. Next, install, that's it, right? It's a very basic one. And install. And then, yeah, we just need to restart when it is done. So you can see that the screen expanded as well. It's just creating that user-friendly environment. So it is done now for me. VMware Tools. I'm gonna click finish, and you must restart. So if it asks for restart, you must restart. Otherwise, the advanced features of the virtual machine will not be activated. Okay. So it's restarted from VMware Tools installation. So hopefully I'm not too far from everyone, but also you will be having time. So let me just show the whole thing and record it, so you can always follow the recorded. It's just that the more topics will be covered this way. I'm going to go for the three buttons here: Control, Alt, Delete. Or if you want to go for keyboard, from the keyboard you want to go for Control, Alt, Delete. So it's not Control, Alt, Delete. It's Control, Alt, Insert key. Otherwise, just click these three buttons. That's better. And go for Administrator, and then small abc, WC shift 123 dot shift 123. Enter. And once we're inside, so I'm just going to check the list now. Okay, we can put our own password. Yes, you can put your own password, just don't forget it. So then, yeah, this is what we did before as well. So turn off the firewall profiles there, turn off Enhanced Security there, and so we're going to go for firewall and Enhanced Security. We will definitely install Google Chrome there because IE is already discontinued by Microsoft, and it sucks. Okay, we all know that. So I'll just go for I'll just go for go for what? Let me try. Yeah. Okay. So back to the virtual machine, and I'm going to go for local server here. And in the local server, I'll go for Windows Firewall, which is on. The two profiles are on, and I'll just click that. And there's the turn Windows Firewall on or off. I'm going to click that and turn off Windows Firewall. Turn off Windows Firewall. I'm going to press OK for this and click close. So refresh here. So it's then I'm going to go for the next one, which is IE Enhance Security, and just turn it off as well. In production environment, we don't turn off the firewall or IE Enhance Security. In training environment, we don't want them to mess up with our concept understanding. So turn off and turn off. So IE Enhance Security, we have turned off both, and press OK. So I'm going to go with the list again. What else is remaining? So this list is also in your WhatsApp, and oh, I should put it in. Maybe I did already put it in OneNote. Yeah, I did. Okay. So the only thing is the picture. I made some writing there. So it's going to be, excuse me, I'm going to go for power options now and double check the time zone. So these two, power options and time zone. So I'll go back to the machine, and in the machine, first of all, the time zone should be pretty clear. What happens is that sometimes the time zone is okay, but the time itself is not okay. So just check your time if it's okay as well. So yeah, it seems okay for me, and it's Eastern US and Canada, which is also okay, right? So other than that, the power options. So this machine should not lock out when I'm not using it for more than 15 minutes. So there's an idle time lockout option which is for 15 minutes. We're going to change that too. So suppose you're working on second machine for 1 hour, then you come back to this machine, you don't have to put username password there. So that's why we're going to just remove that. We can call it screensaver as well. So right click on the bottom left here on the Windows icon, and then you can go to power options. From control panel also you can directly go to power options. But here I'm just right clicking on the Windows and then clicking power options. And then it is on balanced. If you're working out of the laptop battery, then balance is okay. If your laptop is connected or desktop is already connected to the power source, power socket there. So I'm going to go for high performance here and change plan settings. So high performance and change plan settings. So I'm just going to click change plan settings here. And so there's 15 minutes. After 15 minutes of idle time, it will lock out the screen and you have to put username password. We don't want that, so we're just going to slightly change it to never. Okay, there you go. So it's just turned off the display, never, and click save changes. Right? So that's another thing. Now it's not going to be a disturbance for us that we have to put username password whenever after 15 minutes we have to return. So I'm going to go back to the list here again, and that's it. The final one is, well, second last is configure shared folder. So what is the purpose of configure shared folder? Configure shared folder is that we are able to, so I'll just put that, we are able to copy paste to from the VM workstation, so virtual machine and physical machine. So this means that when you want to copy paste back and forth from virtual machine to physical machine, or from physical machine to virtual machine, so in that case shared folder becomes really important. So this is something that we will be using. So shared folder feature, we need to properly configure it. So we need to map an outside physical laptop folder with inside of the virtual machine. We're going to map a folder of a physical laptop or desktop to the virtual machine. So let's do that, but the purpose is to copy paste between virtual and physical environments. So I'm going to go back here to configure the shared folder feature. So I'm just going to right click on the template machine and then go down to settings here to configure the shared folder feature. I'm going to click the settings here, and again I'm going to go to options tab, not the hardware tab but the options tab. In the options tab I'm going to go for shared folders, which is the third one, and it is disabled. Now you would not be able to click it if Vmware Tools were not installed and restarted. Since we did that, so we're able to click it. So we're going to select always enabled. So I want that window between the virtual machine and the physical machine always available. And second thing, map as a network drive in Windows guests. I'm going to show you how it looks like, but right now let's select that and always enabled and map as a network drive. Once you select that, so it's going to ask that, hey, which folder in your physical desktop or laptop do you want to map here? So you need to give the path of that physical folder or physical machine folder. So I'm going to go for add button here. So this add button here, then I'll click next. Now it's when you click browse here, you will see the folder structure of not the virtual machine but the laptop or desktop there. So I'm going to click the browse button here, and now you see the folder structure of your actual laptop or desktop. So I'm going to go down. Now you're supposed to select either the folder that has the software there, because that's the purpose, copy paste for us back and forth the software, or you can even select the C drive or D drive even. So I'm going to go down to that folder which has my software. So in my case I have a folder called GBsoft, and I'll select that. So wherever your folders are, you can also select the downloads only if everything is there, or just select wherever your software is. So I'm going to select GBsoft and press OK. So I want to map this folder to inside the virtual machine. Now it's going to be mapped in obviously on the clones as well. So we don't have to do it on 3 clones now, one by one. Okay, so this is the outside folder that is mapped to the inside of the virtual machine, and click Next. So enable this share. It's going to appear as a mapped shared drive, which is okay. And we don't need to put it read-only because we want to copy paste on both sides. We need to write on both sides. So let's click Finish. Now it should exactly look like this, right? If it exactly looks like this, then that's your second screenshot now. Shared folder configured. So that's your second screenshot now. Those who are not following, just make sure your notepad is showing your full name, and that's your second screenshot. So I'm just going to take a sample screenshot now. Obviously your name is showing there. Well, for those who are following. So that's, I'm going to put that here now on WhatsApp. So mail server equals screenshot to shared folder configured, and the screenshot. So your name should be showing there in the background for those who are not following, and those who are following. So if you're with me, so obviously your name is showing. Those who are still following and behind, and when they see the video, then they can take that screenshot. Alright guys, so if this is all configured exactly like that, then press OK. Right? So hopefully everyone got the screenshot, and press OK. Alright guys, so here, once we have pressed OK, so where is, how does it work? So we need to just check that out. If we go down to our file explorer here, or the yellow folder, then go to this PC. So you can see now there's a Z drive here. Now the Z drive is what the shared folder creates, and if you go inside the Z drive, then you will see that outside folder, it's just a mapping. So if you double click that, so these are the software in your physical laptop or desktop. So that's not inside your virtual machine. So that's a shared folder feature. We have configured it as well. I'm just going to close that and check out the list again, what is left. Okay, well, not this one, this one. Okay, so we're down to the Sysprep, and we need to run it very, very carefully. One thing is that you cannot, please don't mistakenly run it on your laptop. If you run it on your laptop, well, 2 or 3 students broke that world record, or as far as I know, they mistakenly run it not inside the machine but outside the machine, and on the Windows icon they went to run Sysprep, as I was showing, inside the machine. So what happens is it just simply breaks your all the applications and breaks your operating system, so nothing works after that. It simply destroys your software, and then you have to format and reinstall everything. So make sure that you don't mistakenly run Sysprep on your laptop. You run it inside the virtual machine. So I'm just going to go inside my virtual machine. So you just see that there's a Windows icon here. We need to go to run, right? And there's a Windows icon here as well. So obviously make sure that inside the laptop, inside the Vmware Workstation, you're using this. So I'm just going to right click here and go to run. And then I'm going to type Sysprep. So without the Sysprep, this template is not complete. It's not even a template without Sysprep, right? So with Sysprep, it's going to give all the clones or copy machines the unique or different SID. So this is really critical process. So I'm just going to press OK here after typing SYSPREP. And so it tells you where does it live. It just lives in the C drive Windows System 32 folder. So I'm going to double click again the actual exe file here, Sysprep. Now be careful here. So this is the final part of the template machine creation. So OOB just means that it's going to be out of the box experience. Suppose you just purchase a new Windows software and you're installing that, so it should be that experience of installation. Generalize also just means that it should look like a general installation with all general options there to make it easy to install. So you must click generalize, and then yes, we're gonna shut it down forever. So select shutdown here, and when it is shut down, only then we can create clones. So generalize, OOB, and shut down. If these three options are done, then press O and K, right? So I'm about to press OK now. Okay, so after that, it must stay shut down so we could keep on creating clones from the template machine. Okay, so for me, it is shut down successfully without any errors. And if I check the list, there's still one last thing that we need to do in the list. If I see there, what's that one last thing? It's the 4 MB RAM. So we must make sure that it never gets started accidentally. Suppose it accidentally gets started, then you have to shut it down. You let it start fully, you log in, then you shut it down with Sysprep again, right? Suppose you did it 3 times, fourth time, Sysprep only works 3 times, fourth time it's got, so it's going to just simply remove all your changes. It will make it a new machine. So we're not going to even let it run the first time accidentally. Okay, Hamid says, what about computer name? So Hamid, we're not going to give computer name now, because when we create 3 clones, we're going to change the name anyway in that case. So we're going to give the name at that time. Okay, so here, the final step, if the machine is shut down, let's change the RAM to 4 megabyte, not gigabyte, megabyte. So it should not start even accidentally, right? So I'm going to go down to this machine, and there's memory written there. So I'm going to click that here, right? Click on the memory or just edit virtual machine while it is shut down. And once you click memory, so this is the 8 GB RAM selected. I'm going to drag it down to last one, 4 MB. So this is the workaround that 4 MB is not enough to start a virtual machine. So this means that when we create the clone machines, so we will have to change the RAM for those clone machines, right? Okay, so if it is 4 MB done here, I'll just press OK. So this is a template machine that is created, and so that would be your screenshot number 3, template machine created. So screenshot number 3 would be template machine created, and I'll just take that sample screenshot and I'll put that title there, Neil server screenshot 3 template VM or machine created. So hopefully everyone is having those screenshots to collect and upload later, and with your name in the background showing those are not following. And those who are following, your machine will show your name. Okay, so once that is done, so I'll check my tasks here. Yes, the full template machine is now created. You could suppose you want template machine for some of your own labs as well. You can also make more editing here and then create template machine and then keep on creating clones after clones for your any of your own labs. Okay, so I'm just gonna minimize this, and now we need to create clones. So what's the next plan here? Next plan is this, that the template machine has been created and we need to create actually 3 clones. Hopefully your disk space is enough, but we're gonna make sure that it does not expand that fast. So there are 2 types of clones there that we create. One is full clone and the other is linked clone. We're gonna go for linked clone that takes very less space. So when we come to that, we're gonna talk more. But now the plan is we're gonna go for 3 machines, 3 clones there, and we need to name them specifically that way. So I'm gonna go for the template machine, and the template machine is on my left side here, and I'm gonna right click on this, manage and clone. So right click, manage clone, and then what we can do is we can go for next, and the current state in the virtual machine, nothing here as well, right? Next. So this is the 2 things. These are the 2 options there: create a link clone or create a full clone. So the difference between the 2 is that if you go for a link clone, it is totally dependent on the template machine that you have created for its working and starting. So if suppose you delete the template machine, this link clone is gone. You cannot start that. So it maps its disk. It just makes a copy of the disk. So it uses totally less disk and less RAM for its own working, and less CPU, right? But overall it is slow. So but the full clone is not dependent on your template. It creates its own full copy, separate working virtual machine, and it expands. First thing, it is faster, right? So if you have a lot of space in your hard disk, in your disk, and well, if you have a lot of space, then it's better to create full clone. But if you because it expands fast, so it might even 3 virtual machines all full clone might reach 100 GB by the mid of the course or by the end of the course. So when you really need space, maybe if the whole space is gone, you may have to recreate the machines as well. So my suggestion is go for link clone. It may be slower, but the thing is, if you have SSD, so link clone on top of SSD is a good combination. So SSD gives you that speed which we are lacking when we are selecting link clone, but it really does not expand or occupies a lot of disk space. Full clone occupies a lot of disk space, link clone does not. So I would definitely go for link clone. I would suggest that you also go for link clone, those who are following. So I'll just make a screenshot of this and put it on. Okay, so I'm going to select the link clone and click next. So I'll go for proper naming here, and the first server can be just server 01 because your name is showing already there, so you don't have to go for your first name server. Just server 01 is good enough. And second thing is that I have the other drives, but I'm not going to use them. I have enough space in C drive, so I'm going to keep that folder structure intact and C drive. If you have another drive, still keep that folder structure intact and go for E. Just type this the E instead of C or D, whichever is your drive ladder. So that's the first machine. One more thing is I'm going to select all this because the second and third machine I have to just change the server 1 to 2 and 2 to 3, right? The rest will remain the same. So I'm going to copy this so I don't have to write the whole thing again. And so I've copied it, and I'll keep it at C. If you have more drive in D drive or E drive, go for that, or otherwise keep it like that and click finish. So link clone gets created real fast, right? Uh, Another thing is that suppose you got a better machine later and you want to copy all your machines away from this whatever your machine is now and to your another desktop or a laptop. So you must copy the template machine as well as the link clones there, and without template machine they won't start. Okay, so that's one thing. First clone is ready. I'm gonna go back to template machine. Don't do the mistake of clicking the server one. Don't create a clone out of clone, right? So clone out of clone will have the same SID because this clone was not shut down with Sysprep. Only template machine was shut down with Sysprep. So always select the template machine to create the second clone. And if we go down to manage and clone again, so it's the same procedure now. I'm gonna go for clone and click next. So there's that current state in the virtual machine. We're okay with that. This snapshot of server one is offered that you can create a clone out of that as well. But this is used when you have made significant changes to the in that machine, and those changes were in the snapshot, and you actually want to create a new clone with changed virtual machine. So this is the exact same snapshot of we didn't do anything on this machine yet. So the current state is okay. And click next. So link clone, yes. So I would strongly suggest go for link clone to save some space. If you have enough space, yeah, go for the other one. And I'm going to right click and paste. But I'm going to change that to server 2, your first name, GB, and the date. And I'm going to keep it C and finish, right? And now we know the drill. So let's go for the template machine again. Right click here, go to manage, and click clone the third time for the second Exchange server. Whew, good luck to us. Even in George Brown machines, we were able to install the second Exchange, but it was not that fast. Next, the current state in the virtual machine. Yeah, we know the drill now, so it's the same thing. Link clone. Next, Control V and server 3. C drive and folder structure remains, and finish. And let's click close here. So we got here 3 clones created. Remember that these 3 clones all have 4 MB RAM, which is not enough to even start a machine. So we will have to go for each clone and start them one by one. There are some initial tasks that we need to do in all the 3 clones, and those tasks are, I'll just create another screenshot now. So for the 3 clones here, there are some tasks that need to be done before we install infrastructure roles, and then our course will be much smoother. And if we don't do that, there will be disruptions there. So first thing is the machine needs to be activated. Didn't we activate that? Or for the trial version, it needs to be activated. For George Brown Windows Server 2016, it does not have to be activated, so you can ignore that first if you're using the Windows Server 2016 from George Brown. Activated, is it activated or not? We're going to make sure that. Then replace. So replace NAT with a local VMnet 15. Out of habit, I'm going for that. 16, 17, 18, whichever you want. So VMnet 15. So this means that if we replace NAT with VMnet 15, we won't be having internet connection. So we're going to put that same VMnet 15 to all 3 machines so they can communicate in their local network with each other. So the VMnet has to be same in all 3 machines. So that's the second thing. Give static IP, and we already put that information there. So 192.168.200.1, subnet mask 255.255.255.0, and gateway, no gateway, and PD. So that would be 192.168. Preferred DNS would be this. And also, right after this, we need to rename machine. Well, yeah, your first name, serve1. Oh, make sure that your name and serve1 does not make it 15 characters, otherwise it won't let you join the domain. So rename your first name, serve1, and restart. We're gonna do that. And then the very important thing is, take snapshot. Very important. It's gonna save a lot of time. Suppose we mess up our machine. So if we go back to the snapshot, at least we will know that, oh, we don't have to activate, we don't have to give a static IP, we don't have to rename the machine. So this is the task that, these are the tasks that we need to do in all three machines. 2, and the name would be 2 here. And then 3, and IP will be 3, and the name has to be 3. The rest are exactly the same task we need to do. So after that, we're going to go for the first machine. We're going to give all the RAM to this first machine and CPU to install the Active Directory, DNS, DHCP, 390 users. We're going to install that all, and then we're going to join these two machines to the domain. Okay, so what we can do is we can start. So I'm just gonna go back to our three machines here. So I'm just gonna go for server 1, and in server 1, I'm gonna change that RAM. So now, if you have like 16 GB RAM, suppose, so 444. So it's still 12, right? So you can give all three machines 4 GB, 4 GB, 4 GB, right? If you have total of 16 GB RAM. If you have 32 GB RAM, then yeah, the first machine can have, well, up to that 888 you can give, and you'll be faster, but you'll have to wait for others. Well, you'll be faster. Okay, so here I'm just gonna go for well, I have actually 24 GB RAM, so still it makes, so I'm gonna go for 8 GB for the first machine, second machine, and third machine for 4 GB, right? So first machine 8 GB, why? Because I need more RAM to install Active Directory, DNS, DHCP, or to make it faster. So the first machine I'm going 8 GB. Those who have total 16 GB go for 4 GB, 4 GB, 4 GB. Otherwise, 822, we can go for that too, and still give 8 GB to the first machine to get the task done faster. Other machines 2 GB are also okay, as long as they are less than 16 GB or nearest to that. Okay, so 8 GB the first machine, I'm gonna press OK, no other change. And this is 8 GB for the first machine. I'm gonna go for the second machine that is still powered off, and I'll go for changing 4 MB to 4 GB. So I'll go for 4 GB here, because it's going to just join the domain. It's going to be member server 4 GB. So I'm going to press OK here as well, and then I'm going to go to the third machine and go to, yeah, unit 15. Change that to, I guess. Well, if you're using the George Brown Windows Server 2016, then yes, you can change now, but I'm using a trial version and it needs to be first activated. For that, I need NAT for my trial machine. Okay, so I'm going to change it to 4 GB. Before starting the machine, make sure that the RAM is changed to 4 GB, and press OK. So third machine 4 GB, second machine 4 GB, first machine 8 GB. So the camera says you can also change the network while the machine is running, so it is okay to change later. Yeah. So when in my case the trial version has to connect, it has to detect internet connection. So I have to wait till it is fully loaded with the NAT. After that, yes. Even if started, yes, you can change. You're right. So, but I can't because I need it to be activated first. So I'm going to power on this server 1 and power on server 2, power on server 3. Now if you have 16 GB, just go for 822. So 22 GB RAMs. Hopefully you have SSD drive that really adds up to the speed and tries to cover somewhat, that performance that is lacking from less RAM. If it is HDD, then it's gonna be slow or so it is half time right now. So if you're in for a break, let me know. Hey, normally we are supposed to have a break according to Shotgun rules. So guys, while it is started, we can come back at 6:15 and carry on our tasks one by one. 6:15 or 20, it's up to you. So I'm just gonna go for, okay, so you're listening to me. Break. Class starts 6:20. Hey guys, so class starts 6:20. Let's take a break. I'll mute now and pause the video. Hopefully I remember to resume. Yeah, that's what I forgot last time, to resume the video after the break. Okay, so where were we? Let me just check out what's going on. Okay, there isn't why it's not showing. Oh, well, there's a message. There's a reason why it's not showing Vmware Tools. So I'm not even sure what's the name here. Who's asking? The reason is Vmware Tools is not there. You have to right click. So there's a WhatsApp message that I'm reading right now, guys. So there, you can right click here and click the install Vmware Tools. If it says install Vmware Tools, you have to click that first and then go to the CD DVD. Right? So right click here and click install Vmware Tools. Then, so that's the answer to anonymous post there. So I don't have the name. Okay, so I'm gonna go back here and that's so the server 1, server 2, server 3 should be on this stage where nothing much to do. Then this is just language and time zone. So I'm just gonna click next on the server 1. I'm gonna click next, and then it's just asking for license agreement. So we're gonna click accept, and then it's again asking for the password. So small ABC, gun ABC, shift 123 without shift 123, and small ABC, gun ABC, shift 123 without shift 123. So I put that password. So it's going to ask that password. It's a totally new machine, so it's not going to take the password of the template machine. You have to just put your own password. I'm just putting the same class password here. So I'm going to click finish, and then I'm going to click these 3 buttons to send control or delete and log in from the first machine. Oops. Okay, now shift 123. So I'll just log in from this machine. Then I'm just going to log in from the next machine as well, server 2, and I'll click next and accept. So you know the drill. Just give next and accept and give the password to each clone. And then log into that machine. So I'm going for the second machine. I give the password, and then I'm logging in to that machine. Then I'm going for the third one and click next here as well, accept the license agreement here as well, and give the password. So hopefully some of you have already done that. Okay, so Control Alt and oh, admit. Wow, what's happening? Yeah. On server 1, I'm logged in. Server 2, I'm logged in. Server 3, I'm not logged in. So I'm just gonna log in from server 3 as well. So obviously this is ship123.ship123 and log in from server 3 as well. Oh, so yeah, Hamid, click do this later. Do this later and go ahead. Okay, so there was a message there. Okay. So here, server 1, I'm just waiting for it to show up, but normally with me it happens that first time when Windows Server 2016 logs in, it does not show anything, it just stays blank there. So 2 and 3, so if that happens to you as well and for some time you're not seeing anything, you can just restart once. So it only happens once. So I'm going to restart this. If you see the whole screen blank, it's not showing anything for a few minutes, so I'm just gonna restart guest. It happens to me pretty much every time, even in different machines. So it's just kind of bug is just following me everywhere. I'm gonna restart this machine as well because it's not showing me. If it's showing you already the screen, you don't have to restart. So just restart because it's not showing me. It's not going to show me as well. It's gonna take a long time here if I waited. Okay, the first machine has restarted. 8 GB machine, the first one, second 4 GB, and third 4 GB machine in my case. So I'm gonna just log into that machine. First one, and so I'm logged in to my first machine. So second machine, now it's restarted. I'll log in from my second machine as well. I'll just compare the tasks on all 3 machines so they're all ready when we go for the infrastructure rules. I'm going to go for the third machine as well and click this Control Alt Delete here and put administrator. So now on the first machine, if I check out the tasks here that I'm going to copy on your side as well, I'm just gonna these tasks need to be done now on all 3 machines. So these tasks need to be done on clone. I'm just writing it in the WhatsApp and putting the picture there. So and I'll put it on this as well. So these tasks need to be done on the 3 clones in OneNote and putting the picture there as well. So okay, so what happens here now, I'll just go for the first task, and that is activate. So if you are using, again, I'm just saying that if you're using George Brown Windows Server 2016, you don't have to activate it, it's just activated. For me, I'm using trial version, so I just need to make sure it is activated. It is on NAT already, so internet is there. Trial version sees the internet, it downloads some files from Microsoft right away, and it activates this machine for, or operating system for 6 months or 180 days. So I'm just going to go back here and check it out if my first machine, second, and third machine are all have been activated for 6 months. I'm going to minimize this server manager on my first machine here. And yes, I can see that the 180 days is showing there. If you're using George Brown machine, you don't have to see that. If you're using George Brown Windows 2016, you don't have to see that. It's already activated. So server 2, I'm just going to minimize that, and it shows here it's activated. And then third, oh, it's not showing. Where's my film? Refresh. There you go. So if it doesn't show, just right click and refresh on the desktop area and it will show. So this is just for the trial version. Oh, there's a message. John says it's being recorded. Oh yes, although I made sure, but whenever somebody asks, I always double check. Now yes, it is running. Yes, it's going to be a real burden for me to re-record. So, alright guys, and so the first step is done. I'm just gonna check that out. Oh, not this one. So I'll go to this, activate it, done. Replace. Now once it is activated, I do not need internet connection anymore. I want the first network card to be connected for all of the 3 machines to be connected to their local network, and they should be just talking to each other. So I do not need internet on all 3 machines. I'm going to replace the NAT with VMware 15. No particular reason for selecting VMware 15. We can select any other as well, 16, 17, 18, 19, whichever. But all 3 machines must have the same VMNet. So my suggestion, just stick to the configuration I'm doing for consistency. So I'm just going to go for server 1. I'm going to right click here. I do not need internet connection now. So I'm going to go to settings and network adapter. And I'm going to go to custom. If I choose host only, that is also okay. It doesn't give me internet connection. If all 3 machines are on host only, that is also okay. I'll just go for custom for, achieving the same result by selecting VMware 15, or and it's not my lucky number as well. I just it's a habit to select this. Okay, so custom VMware 15 selected for 1 machine, so it has to be selected for the other 2 machines if they need to, if they want to communicate with this machine. So VMware 15 once selected, press OK. Go for server 2 there, right click. So it's the same drill now for the other 2 machines. I'm going to right click and go to settings and network adapter, custom VMnet 15 and ONK. And I'm going to go for the third one, right click, settings, VMnet 15, so custom. If you chose anything else, that's also okay, as long as it's host only or any of the other networks other than NAT. Okay, so this is also done. If I check the list now, so replace NAT with VMnet 15, yes, done. And if I go for the next task, so I need to put static IP here. Obviously we don't have a DHCP here, and these are critical resources. Servers are always critical resources because they have important roles and applications working on them, and also that hundreds or thousands of users will be remotely connected to these applications. So hence they are critical. When they are critical, you have to put static IP or manual IP. So we're gonna start putting the static IP. We're also going to do one more thing which I mentioned, which I forgot to mention here. Uncheck V6, IP V6. It's not compulsory to uncheck that, but for troubleshooting it, if it's on IPv4, then it's always easier to understand because we're not used to understanding IPv6 yet. Maybe in your CCNA, you may have gone through some IPv6 configurations or understanding of that only, but we're not used to really using this in our networks. If it's not unchecked, it's still okay. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to go to the first machine. Make sure you're on the first machine. Okay. So the question, Yusuf saying, for renaming, we are renaming the computer name, right? Yes. So for renaming, we're going to rename the computer name with as least amount of words, or just make sure it's not exceeding 15 characters. So I'm going to go down to this server 1 and then local server. Excuse me. And in the local server, oh yeah, I'm going to go to Ethernet 0. You can go from here as well. Right click and go to Open Network and Sharing Sharing Center, or go from Ethernet 0. I'm going to click that and go to Ethernet 0 and Properties. So out of bad habit, I'm going to uncheck V6, because when you're pinging, it gives you this V6, which we're not used to, but we need to troubleshoot as well, right? So, and just double click V4 and give your first IP there. So 192, oops, numlock. 192.168.200.1 tab automatically populates 255.255.0. Tab again. We do not need default gateway here, and I'm gonna put tab again and again. Preferred DNS servers 192.168.200.1. So the first machine will have this configuration, and I'm going to press OK. Just make sure it's not 198 and this is not 162. So let's press ONK and OK and close, right? Static IP has been given on first machine. I'm going to go for second machine and make sure that a static IP is there as well. So I'll go to the server manager, click the local server, and go for, so now we know the drill, Ethernet 0, properties, uncheck V6. So when you're pinging for troubleshooting, obviously it's very helpful. So double click V4, 192, I forget, unlock every time. 192.168.200.2 tab 255.255.0 tab no gateway tab 192.168.200.1, because the first server will be the DNS server. So just make sure this all configuration is exactly like that. Press OK, OK, close. Then I go for server 3 here and do the same thing here, local server, Ethernet 0, double click that, properties, uncheck V6, double click V4, and that's it. So 192.168.200.3 tab no gateway tab DNS 192.168.200.1 gateway remains the same. So press OK, close. Now we got the IP also configured. If we go back here, so yep, IP also given. Then we go to rename your first name, serve 1, and restart. And after that, we're going to take snapshot, and in the snapshot, we're going to actually write something there as well. So I'm going to explain why. So let's rename all machines and restart them. So after restart, you don't have to log in and take a snapshot. If you are logged in, that is also okay, but we need to take a snapshot whether you're not logged in, or even shut down, but all these conversions are done. Then we can take a snapshot. So I'll go back here, and I'm on first machine now, and I'll go for the computer name, change, and that would be your first name, SERV1. So keep it less than 15 characters. Yesterday we were configuring the whole VMware VCP course labs and in Humber College. So some students had long names there, so they could not join the domain. So we spent half an hour fixing that. Okay, so here, domain, obviously, why am I here? We didn't even create a domain, seriously, what's wrong with me? So I'll keep it to workgroup, and your first name server 1, and press OK. And that's it. Okay, restart. Okay, close, restart now, and we do the same thing for the next one. Okay, change your first name, serve2. Okay, okay, restart. And then your first name, serve3. Okay, okay, restart. First name, serve3. Okay. Okay, close, restart. Okay, so 3 machines are done with rename. So guys, normally I prefer not to log in. If you've logged in, those who are following, it's okay, doesn't matter. So I'm just gonna go to server 1 where I'm not logged in right now, and I need to take a snapshot. But if you're logged in, it's okay to take a snapshot. If you're even shut down after that, those configurations, it's okay to take a snapshot at that time as well. Why do we take a snapshot? So the snapshot just saves the configuration of your operating system. So if we mess up our operating system, suppose we installed Exchange Server, it's totally messed up, you try to troubleshoot, it's not fixing, you want to go back to where you have configured static IP and what you did down, and renamed, right? So you want to go back to that. So at least you would know when you go back to the snapshot, oh, I don't have to give a static IP, I don't have to rename and restart. So I will start from there. So when we do install Active Directory, DNS, DHCP, 390 users, and change the domain admin or copy the domain admin, then we're going to take one more snapshot. So if we had to come back to that, then we would not have to do all that configuration as well. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to right click on server 1. So obviously we are going to take snapshot of all 3 servers. So server 1, right click and go to snapshot and then click take snapshot. So that's not all. This is snapshot 1 of server 1. Snapshot 2 later of server 1, snapshot 3 of server 1, snapshot 4 of server 1, right? So it goes like that. What we did was, in fact, what I did, activated. So I would know if I had to come back to the snapshot, I don't have to activate this machine, it's just activated. So that's why I'm writing that here. Second thing, static IP given. So that I'm writing. Third thing is that renamed. Right. So these are the main things that we did. So I'm gonna select all 3. Why? Because these are the same 3 things we did on the other 2 machines as well. So when we take their snapshot 1, so I'm just gonna simply copy paste these 3 things there as well. But it really is a big time saver. I'm gonna click take snapshot after writing activated, static IP given, renamed, and that's the snapshot 1 of server 1. So I'll click take snapshot. Now it does take, on the bottom left, you can see that it's saving state 3%, 4%. We don't have to wait for that. And if we keep on working and still doing something else, it does not disrupt the snapshot saving process, and snapshot saving process does not disrupt anything we are doing. So it's just totally in the background, which we can ignore. So in production environment, obviously I would just make sure that 100% is reached, but I would still keep on doing the tasks. Okay, so snapshot isn't taken on server 1. I'm going to do the same thing on 2 and 3. So right click on 2, I'm going to go for snapshot and take snapshot. This is snapshot 1 of server 2. Later, you can have snapshot 2 of server 2, snapshot 3 of server 2, and so on. So I'm going to simply right click and paste, because these are the 3 tasks I have done on server 2 as well. So I'll click simply take snapshot, and bottom left, let it just take its time. and we can still keep on going to do the rest of the tasks. Server 3, same thing. Snapshot, take snapshot, snapshot 1 of server 3 now. Later you can go for 2, snapshot 2 of server 3, and so on. Paste and take snapshot, right? So now we got the snapshots of the 3 machines as well. So that's very good, and we were able to do all this on all 3 machines. So let's go for the next one. That is the infrastructure roles. Okay, so this is the diagram for that. So we gave the 8 GB RAM for server 1 because of this, because as we need to install Active Directory, DNS, DHCP, and do all these tasks one by one, so we needed more RAM. Others, they just joined the domain, so they don't need that. Okay, so on this task, I'm just gonna copy this and do those tasks one by one. Anything else I need to write here? No. So this is what we're doing now. I'll put it on the group. These tasks are being done, and I'll just go for one node as well. These tasks are next. Okay, so I'm going to follow this. So I'm going to go to server 1, and I'm going to install Active Directory, and we're going to name the domain as well. So let's do it. Okay, guys, so here I'm going to go to server 1, and I'm going to log in after taking the snapshot, and I'll just click the 3 buttons on the top left, and then it's a local administrator, obviously, because we haven't installed the domain yet. So small lucy shift 123 without shift 123, enter. Once we're inside, then we can just start the regular process that we did before. So dashboard on server 1, make sure you're on server 1, and go for add roles and features. And click next. Role-based or feature-based installation, yes. Next. Is the correct name and IP of the machine, next. And we're going to select the second one, ADDS. We're not going to select, so when it pops up, just click add features. We're not going to select DNS because Active Directory will install the DNS for us, and we're going to go for DHCP as well. So I'm going to select DHCP as well and add features. So Active Directory domain services, DHCP server selected, these 2 are selected, and click next. In the features, nothing there, click next, and that's it, just introduction. Next, introduction to DHCP, next. I'm going to click that, restart. If there's a pending restart, it will restart, otherwise it will decide not to restart. So press yes to that and click install. So we're only going to install this on the server 1, the Active Directory DNS DHCP. Oh, so there's on the Mega, I see that Windows Store 2016 Data Center eval. Hopefully it's not evaluation and it has the key already. So if it's eVol, so that would not be then George Brown's version, right? And George Brown, normally they have the key built in, I guess. GBEC is eVol? Oh, okay. Strange. See, till last year, yeah, we were having the key built into it. Maybe that's because we were inside the George Brown College. Now we're outside, so I didn't. They're giving eVol. I have the one key. Oh, so Yusuf, you got the key from Ignite, Microsoft Ignite, given to George Brown, right? I have the file copy right from prototype folder. Oh, yeah, it was in prototype folder in George Brown. Very strange. Yeah, maybe it's. Oh, you copied it, so it's not like they knew that we are giving it outside of the college, so that's why we should give eVol. So it was just there and it was eVol. Strange. Because in prototype folder they have key built into it. We don't have to put our key or activate it. Okay. Maybe they changed the policy. Okay. Guys, on server 1 it is done, and I'm going to go for promote this server to a domain controller. Let's click that. And I'm going to go for add a new forest. So those who are like following, and you need to put your first name domain.local. First name domain.local, right? Okay, so I have the one that isn't eVol, and so Yusuf shares a picture of the prototype. Oh, you have that actually. Okay, cool. And it's from George Brown, right? Alright. Oh, you copied it from last year. Oh, this year. Okay. Well, Yusuf Yusuf, the key you have is given to you, or is it just built into it? If it's built into it, then others can also use that. Otherwise, yeah, they cannot have it. Guys, you can go to Microsoft Dev Tools. You can ask Jackie, and you have all the Microsoft software with 1-year keys there free for you, for George Brown students, right? So you can ask Dev Tools or Microsoft Ignite. You have free subscription to that. Okay. Oh, built in. Wow. Oh, okay. So thank you, Yusuf. So, guys, here you can just put your domain name and click next, and then yes, it's the usual. You just put the 2 passwords 2 times here on the next screen. It's saying that it's gonna install DNS for us and configure it as well, at least the forward local zone part of that. And I'm going to go for the class password here, small abc, capital C, shape123, dot shape123. Then there is small abc, capital C, shape123, dot shape123. And click next. So nothing on the DNS delegation. So it's just asking, where's the DNS? And since we're in the process of installing DNS, so we can't do anything. Anyway, if you want to click anything, it cannot click anything here anyway. So ignore that and click next, and then the NetBIOS domain name. So when it comes, we don't need to change anything there as well, and simply go ahead. Then we click next. Next. And well, guys, this is the area where we take a screenshot. So it's the view your selections. Yep. Oh, there was a mic on, so I'll mute. Okay, so we're gonna take a screenshot here. Those who are following and not following, especially not following, so have your notepad up with your full name and take a screenshot number 3 here. Screenshot number 3, AD about to install, Active Directory about to install. So screenshot number 3, Active Directory about to install. I'll go for sample screenshot here. Mail server and screenshot 3. Active Directory about to install, and the picture. So that's the sample screenshot there. Hopefully everyone has taken that screenshot with notepad based your full name there. So that notepad based full name I had to only do for one lab in last year's, but obviously COVID-19 changed everything. So okay, if the screenshot has been taken by everyone, so I'm gonna click next. So guys, at the end of the class you need to upload all those screenshots. Only those who have fallen behind and are have sent me an email, you can just send me before the next exchange class or mail server class. Okay, so I'm gonna click next. Oh, yikes. Is it screenshot 4? Oh yeah, it was 4, sorry. So I'll just write it down again. Well, if you're done on prereqs, then click the install button. So I'll just put that again there. For, I'll just, thank you for pointing that out. Okay, so, oh, okay, Cameron says I already hit install. Can I screenshot my server dashboard? Yeah, sure. You can take a screenshot of your dashboard. So I'm going to click that install here. We'll ignore all the warnings. probably one day, Monday or Sunday, it's gonna. Wow. It's taking forever. Well, that's in 8 GB, and I think that is SSD, or maybe not. I don't know. So, and that's just a start, right? So, when we deploy actually the Exchange server, that's a beast. Just SQL Server is not that big, but Exchange Server is big. And the two, don't worry with their GBN. NVMe SSD. Oh man, NVMe. Wow, it's even better. Okay. I think I have SSD. So when we start configuring Exchange Server, we're going to be adding multiple disks there. We're going to go for RAID 1 at least, if not RAID 5. So that's part of the Exchange deployment scenarios. Oh, so Cameron says mine finished pretty fast with NVMe SSD as well. Whoa, okay. So you guys are loaded. I need to load my machine as well. So guys, it's really important to have if you want to stay in the field of IT, you need to have a good hardware. Try to plan it at least. And if you want to upgrade your laptops or desktop, let me know. Also, I know one guy. Hundreds of my students have in different colleges have upgraded their laptops and desktops in very less price from that guy. I don't have any shares with that guy, so don't worry. But you can also go to Kijiji. You can research yourself. Go for refurbished powerful computers. My laptop, 32 GB RAM, i7 quad core is a refurbished one, and it's working perfectly. I'm creating big labs there, and so yep, I can give you the address of that guy from whom I got it, and well, hundreds of my other students got it. Yes, Cameron. So it's more CPU dependent, but it's going to, as soon as we go for Exchange server, you're going to see that RAM is the key. CPU and RAM both are really critical. If SSD is there, it just gives you better performance. Otherwise, CPU and RAM both really are the most critical thing. Exchange will eat up all the RAM as soon as it installs, and we plan to have two enterprise editions. Okay, so wow, yeah, this stage is really messy. So while others are just waiting to be joined to domain, so we're just making sure this one is good. Guys, for SQL, we need to now delete the Exchange server machine. We need to have as much resources available for the SQL lab. Oh, there you go, yay. So yeah, when we go to the SQL lab, I'm gonna show you how to delete that. Don't go yourself and delete it, just keep it stopped. I'm gonna show you the properly safe way to delete. Okay, so I'm just gonna go to the Control-Alt-Delete here on the top left, and then log in from the domain administrator with small secret with ship123 without ship123. Okay, once inside, I'll go through the tasks here, and the first one is, so we have Active Directory installed already, and the first thing we should be doing is copy and create another account, which is an exact copy of the domain administrator having all the privileges of domain administrator. So we were not able to do that in Azure. So many well, that environment is totally different. Although what we were able to do, and we will still be doing with SQL, so well, in future you will know that how useful, how beneficial that was for you to be exposed to Azure in this way. Okay, so now we're gonna just copy the domain administrator account and create our own account called your first name admin. So I'm gonna go to the first machine here, and once we're inside, we can go to the tools, and in the tools we can go for ADUC, which is Active Directory users and computers. So I'm going to click that Active Directory users and computers in server 1. So your domain shows here. I'm going to expand that, and I'm going to go down to the last container called users, and there you see on the right side, the first one is the domain administrator. That has the highest privileges across the domain. In fact, if I go inside or double click that and go to the member of tab here, so you can see that this account has enterprise admin privileges, schema admin privileges, which are the highest privileges in the forest, and obviously it's a domain admin and domain administrators as well. So an administrator group as well, it's added to. So it has the highest privileges. We're not going to use this account. So two reasons are there. One reason is that we'll keep it as a backup. Suppose we create a copy account, we're going to create a copy account, and if suppose that copy account is having some issues, it got corrupted, and so this will be our backup account, and we can just log in from this one as well if that other one doesn't work for some reason. Other thing is that the administrator is also the local user account name as well. In this machine, server 2 and server 3, in all member servers or non-domain controllers, the local administrator account is the same spellings, administrator, and the domain administrator is also same spellings, administrator. So suppose I ask you, hey, in Exchange server 2, please log in from domain administrator. So many students mistakenly go for local administrator, and then when they start configuring and it says, oh, you don't have privileges, then they have to sign out again and sign in again, and then a lot of time is wasted. So that's why we're not going to use this. So right click. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click on this administrator account that has the highest privileges across the forest and copy it. So make sure that you right click on top of it after selecting it and copy. Excuse me. And then here you can go for your first name admin, keep it simple. I'm gonna select it, right click, copy it, just go to the logon name. I'll just keep the same name here as well. So your first name admin, first name, full name, logon name as well. Once you have done that, let's click next. Excuse me. Okay, so password would be obviously the same, small ABC, capital ABC, shift 123 without shift 123. Small ABC, capital ABC, shift 123 without shift 123. And when we are creating that password, so anyone knows, I think a frog stuck in my throat, grab it. Okay, now it's gone. Okay, so what my question would be here is, anyone knows what is the default expiration time for a user account in Active Directory? Anyone knows the default expiration time? Oh, 90 days. No, it's not 60 days. So it's in a group policy, and we can always change that to 60 or 90, but it is 45 days. So in 45 days, the user account, Active Directory user account, expires. That's the default range. You can make it less, make it more in group policy. So in 45 days, we don't want it to be, if it goes down to 45 days. So let's just go for password never expires for our administrator. This is what we don't, or we never do that in production environments. Obviously, there we will change the administrator password every 30 days or even less. So obviously, the hackers would count on this. Hey, they're not even changing the password of the top admin. Oh, hey, it's a party now. So obviously, just for training environment, we're doing that. In production environments, you never do that. Okay, so click next and finito. So let's click finish here. Yep. Can one use a hardware 2FA key with that? Yes. Well, so Azure had that software. Microsoft Azure had introduced that multi-factor authentication server as well that we could have downloaded. We could download from Azure and then attach it here, and then you can use 2FA. But third-party software, there are many that you can use with Active Directory. In fact, you know what? That's an interesting question. So, 2FA software for Active Directory. You're talking on premises, right? So, free MFA deployment guide, Okta. So third party are there, and spec. Oh, okay. Spec ops. Okay. YubiKey, where I'm, if YubiKey actually it's used in AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, but for local Active Directory it should use. I just have to check that myself. I'm not sure, but there are so many third party that can be used with it. Okay, so but that's a very interesting question, definitely. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and excuse me. Microsoft, I think, has a smart card implementation for yes. So smart card, yes, you can just have that in your laptops or desktops, and otherwise, yeah, you can go for now MFA as well, multi-factor. But definitely before that, it was smart card already. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so there's that. Your first name admin already installed, actually configured. So I'm gonna, whenever you make a change in the Active Directory or DNS, so we go to the domain name and we refresh it just a few million times. So refresh, 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 right? So once that refresh is done, now we're always, throughout the course, as long as we're doing this on-premises lab, so we're gonna always use this your first name admin. We're not going to use domain administrator anywhere in the course. It's a backup, plus student gets confused when they log in from the same account from server 2 and 3. So we're going to only use this from now on, right? So let's sign out from domain administrator and sign in from your first name admin and carry out the rest of the tasks from this account from now on. Now this account has all the privileges of the domain administrator. If I double click that account and go to member of, so it also is a part of enterprise admin and schema admin, which is the highest privileges. So we're good with this account. So I'm just going to sign out now from the bottom left. I'm just going to right click here and sign out. So once you click sign out here, and then just go ahead and log in from the new account that we created, and throughout the course we're going to use this account. So wow, I'll just click the three buttons here, and I'm going to go to other user and log in from your first name admin, and so I'm saying 123, Darkship 123, your first name admin, and then go ahead with this account, and we're going to only use this account from now on. So this task done, but now we can take our fifth screenshot here, and that would be, we can open the command prompt admin. Once we've logged in from this account, we're going to right click and go to command prompt admin, and then we're going to go for host name. First, who am I? Enter. So you have the correct domain. Wow, your first name domain, your first name admin. So confusing. And host name. So that's your server name and obviously IP config. So who am I? Host name, IP config. If this information is there, let's take a screenshot number 5. So domain controller configuration. So those who are not following, please take a screenshot now and have your name notepad showing there in screenshot. Okay, so I'll take that sample screenshot here, put it as mail server. I'm writing it in WhatsApp. Screenshot 5 equals domain controller configuration. Domain controller configuration. So just give a title of domain controller configuration. Hopefully everyone has taken the screenshot. You can is this the last one? Well, we still have 45 minutes, so we need to go ahead with the DNS and DHCP as well. Well, if the whole class says that, okay, let's reach till here and then we'll do the next in the next class. If any one student says, no, continue, then I will continue. If everyone says, no, that's it, then we can just say, okay. So, but yeah, we're still continuing. Okay, guys, so here, if you have placed this screenshot, then we can go for the rest of the tasks there. So there's that DNS, there's a DHCP here, and then 390 users. So what we can do is we can create the DHCP now. We can configure the DHCP now. So I'm going to go back to this, and I'm going to minimize this, and there's that yellow triangle here. I'm just going to click that yellow triangle where it says that complete DHCP configuration. So I'm going to click that. So it's going to create two security groups here for DHCP, one highly privileged DHCP administrators and one read-only. And other thing is Active Directory will authorize the DHCP server. So click next. Make sure it's not showing administrator here. It's showing the new account, which is an exact copy of domain administrator. If it is, then let's click commit. So it should be done. Hopefully you're done. And click close. So DHCP is authorized, but it's not still configured. So I'm just gonna go to the tools and click that DHCP console to open the DHCP console, and then open it and expand this so I can see the left side here. I'm gonna expand your first name serve 1 and expand the IPv4 as well. So there's the server options, policies, filters. I'm just gonna go for right click IPv4 because we need to deploy a scope and give it some IP ranges there. So I'm gonna right click on IPv4 here and go to new scope and click next. So it's your first name and then company scope. So those who are following can exactly do that. Your first name, company scope, and click next. So we're going to give a range here. We're not going to have that kind of machines there, so we're still going to give from 50 up to 100. So it's 192.168.200.50 tab 192.168.200.100. So we can give a range in the scope for 50 machines. We're not going to have 50 machines. So let's click next after giving this range. So we don't have to add exclusions and delay, so we'll skip that. No change on this page, and next. Lease duration 8 days is okay, doesn't matter in our training environment, so no change on this page. Next. Then we will configure some advanced options here, so we'll keep it as is. Next. And we don't have a gateway here, so we don't have to give one. And next. Well, it remembers or detects the correct domain name, and it detects the correct DNS server IP, so that's also okay. No change here. Next. And that's it, we're not using wins. Next. Yes, I want to activate the scope now, so we're gonna simply click next and activate. So click finito here. Well, this was easy. DHCP is configured. Normally in MCSA class I go in detail and why this, why not that. Where this is an exchange server class. So DHCP is done. I'm just gonna close this. Let's also configure the DNS server. First of all, the DNS server is, as is, it is okay if forward lookup zone is configured. So I'm going to go to the DNS server first of all. If I check the list first here, so yeah, DHCP is done, and now DNS is remaining. Now that is the DNS best practice, we can say, because DNS is already deployed, and if we don't do anything on DNS now, it's still working. But when it comes to best practice, especially for Exchange server environment, the email messaging server environment, then it's very crucial to have the DNS server configured with the reverse lookup zone. So later we're going to talk about why reverse lookup zone is so important for Exchange as well. So I'm going to go for Tools, and then DNS server here, and then we can just double click and expand the server. Right? We can go for so forward lookup zone is configured for us by the Active Directory. We're gonna expand the forward lookup zone. I'm gonna select your first name domain.local, so it has that the first machine name already there. So what we can do is this is called a record. So a record of the first or the domain controller is there already, which is okay. But we're gonna go for reverse lookup zone. So you need to first select the reverse lookup zone from the left click, and you can see that it's not configured. So if it's not configured and only forward lookup zone is there, it's still okay for a purely Microsoft environment. If you have Linux environment plus Microsoft environment, or VMware plus Microsoft, or even just Exchange server in Microsoft environment, so you need to go for reverse lookup zone as well. So forward lookup zone resolves computer names to IP addresses. Reverse lookup zone resolves IP addresses to computer names. So if any machine has an IP address, wants to know the computer name, request goes to reverse lookup zone. So I'm going to right click on the reverse lookup zone here, and I'm going to click new zone. And I'll then click next. So it's primary zone, secondary zone, stop zone, store the zone is all okay, default. Let's click next. So it doesn't apply to us because it says that, hey, if you have any other DNS server, then I'll update that. So we're not planning to have a second DNS server here. So this page is as is, and click next. We're going for IPv4, not IPv6. So click next. It's interested in knowing the just the IP range, the network ID of our IP scheme here. So 192.168.200 is our network ID. It doesn't need the client IP. It just needs the network ID. So what network IP range we are using? Next, and there's allow only secure dynamic updates recommended for Active Directory. So there's allow only secure dynamic updates. This just means that if there was another DNS server, if it is joined to the domain, then it is secure DNS server. If it is not joined to the domain, it's considered non-secure DNS server. So we're going to keep it as is and click next, and that's it. Let's click finish. So reverse lookup zone has been created, and I'm going to expand that reverse lookup zone, and I'm going to go inside that zone. I should be seeing the IP and name of this server, server 1. I should be seeing the IP and name of this server, server 1. So I don't see that. First thing I'm going to do is, when you make any change in Active Directory or DNS or DHCP, you go to the server name and you refresh it a few thousand times. Refresh, right? So second thing is, I'm going to go directly to forward lookup zone, and then I'm going to go to domain name, the zone of the domain. Here, this machine's A record. What is an A record? It's just name of the machine and IP of the machine. This record should be there in reverse lookup zone as well. We need it, right? And later, when we join the domain server 2 and server 3, their A record and pointer records or PTR records will be created in forward lookup zone and reverse lookup zones automatically. But this one is existing one, so that's why we need to create it manually. I'm going to double click that, and it says update associated pointer record. So if the IP and name of this machine is in a reverse lookup zone, it is called PTR or pointer record. So let's select that and apply and OK. So now what you can do is, since you made a change, so we're going to go for name of the server and refresh a few million times again. Now that record should be there in reverse lookup zone as well. So we need to confirm that. Select, and yes, it is there. Well, reverse lookup zone is a best practice for big environments, medium to large size environments. So that's why we configured it, and especially for Exchange server. Now we need to run a command called nslookup. Remember, we did that in that Azure machine as well. So we're going to go down here, and we're going to type nslookup here, and it must give us the fully qualified domain name and the correct IP. If not, we need to correct that. So I'm going to go for nslookup and press enter. And it's not giving us the, well, it's not giving me at least the local host. It's just giving me localhost 10.1.7. We don't need that. We need to have the correct fully qualified domain name, FQDN, and the IP. So what we can do is we can go step by step with that. We can first correct the IP, and then we can correct this name as well. So for that, we're inside the nslookup interactive zone. We need to interactive mode, we can say. So Control C out of that, right? Let's correct the IP and come back here and type nslookup again. So first we correct the IP. Where do we go? We go to the static IP in the network card setting, and we change the preferred DNS there back to this IP. So I'm gonna minimize this. I'm not gonna close that. I'm just gonna simply minimize this command prompt, and I'm gonna go to, I just need to go for the network card settings, right? IP settings. So I'm gonna go for server manager and local server and Ethernet 0. So I'm going to click that 192.168.200.1, double click Ethernet 0, properties, double click V4. So it has changed it to 127.0.0.1 while we did put 192.168.200.1. Why did it do that? It just detects it the first time that, oh, I'm the DNS, so it points to itself by putting the loopback address. This is also called loopback address or pointing to itself. So I'm just going to remove that and put back that IP. So it only happens once. After that, if you restart, it doesn't change it back again. So once this is done, I'm going to press OK and OK and close and close. So I'm going to go back to the command prompt. Up arrow brings the older commands, up arrow, or just type the command and look up. At least the IP should be good, but once we corrected the IP, the DNS or the FQDN is also okay now, right? So that would be our screenshot number 6. FQDN works. DNS FQDN works. So I'm going to take a sample screenshot here. You can just take that screenshot. Okay, so screenshot number 6. Hopefully everyone is taking that. So it's the server screenshot 6. DNS FQDN works. Okay, so mail server. So you can just check it on your WhatsApp. Mail server screenshot 6. So, oh, you got 3 pointers there. How many did you join it to domain? All 3. If they're joined to domain, then obviously they will have that. But why they are having 50 and 51? If you join to the domain, then they should have it, but they should not have 50 and 51 IP. Guys, can you check your reverse lookup zone? Do you have 3 pointers or do you have 1 pointer? So hopefully everyone has taken the screenshot of this one. Those not following, open Notepad and put your name there and take a screenshot number 6. So I'm gonna go ahead to the DNS and just double check that. I'm gonna refresh a couple of time here. But well, the thing is we haven't really joined the domain yet. If you have joined, then they should show, but they should not be showing the DHCP IP. They should be showing the static IP, which we have given there, 200.2, 200.3 there. If you haven't given, then just change it to static IP and then it will be fine. Okay, so we got the screenshot 6 as well. So guys, this is FQDN configured here. If I go to the settings here, well, so the DNS is also configured. We need to now quickly join server 2 and server 3 and log in from which account from all 3 machines. It has to be the your first name admin account. So log in only from your first name admin after domain join from server 2 and server 3. Log in only from your first name admin after domain join, right? So let's do that, and let's go to our second machine. Log in from the local administrator. Let me see, 123. Guys, those who are not able to follow, please do follow the video and exactly do these steps the way I'm doing, and your Exchange server environment will be okay. If your steps are different than mine, then well, then maybe there are troubleshooting that you have to do, right? So that's why it's recording, and take your time before the next class, catch up and exactly do this way, right? Okay, so I'm on server 2 here. I'm going to go to local server here, and you know the drill. Just join it to domain. Hopefully we are able to join it to domain. It's all about the communication between server 2 and 1. Sometimes it does not join the domain, so you have to T-shoot that. So I'm going to click work group here on server 2. I'm going to click change here on server 2, and I'm going to click domain here on, well, server 2. So our domain name is, well, my domain name is your first name domain.local. It's good to put, oh, okay, so Yusuf says there I got 1 pointer. Oh, okay. Yeah, I also got 1 pointer. So I'm just gonna, your first name at domain.local. If you have put in that name, let's press O and K. If it gives, if error pops up, then simply press OK and then give it 10 seconds or 15 seconds, count to 15, and then press OK again. So sometimes we just press OK right away and it cannot find it, the domain domain controller, and then it gives you an error. So just count to 15 and then press OK again. Then this pops up. If this pops up, you're good. The server 2 has communicated with the domain controller. So I'm going to go for your first name admin because this account we're always going to use now. And the class password. And okay, restart, right? So when you do restart, you need to log in from your first name admin, not the local administrator, your first name admin. You need to log in from, right? So I'm going to press OK and close. It will restart. So whenever you join the domain or rename, you have to restart. While it is restarting, I'll go for, okay, no, let me just show that. Do not log in from your local administrator of server 2. Log in from domain administrator of server, well, of the domain. So it's just restarting. Server 2 is restarting, right? So I'm going to go for Control-Alt-Delete here. I'm not going to log in from server 2 from local administrator. I'm going to log in from server 2 with the domain administrator, and for that I need to go to other user. So I'll put your first name admin here, and I'm going to put the password small shift123 without shift123. Okay, smart. So I'm going to go for your first name admin, and so once we're logged in from this, we're good. Let's do the same thing on server 3. Then we actually need to take a screenshot of who am I for server 2, who am I hostname ipconfig, and then who am I hostname ipconfig of server 3 as well. So I'm going to go to server 3 here and click those. Local administrator, small abc, go to shift123 without shift123. On server 3, we'll join it to domain. Local server. Workgroup. Change domain. We know the drill. Your first name domain dot local. After putting it, I'll give it a few seconds and then press OK, and the username password should pop up. And then your first name admin, and then small abc of the shift123 dot shift123. So same drill, right? So press OK. Okay, make sure that you log in from domain administrator from server 2. Go ahead and restart from server 2 and server 3, and even server 1. Make sure you log in from only your first name admin in all 3 machines and throughout the course, as long as we're doing this until we shift to Office 365 for Exchange Online. So waiting for Exchange server 03 to restart. It's restarted. I'm gonna go for 3 buttons here. I'm gonna go for other user. Okay, so server 3, and I'll go for your first name admin and your username password. Once you are able to log in from your first name admin from all 3 machines, for server 2, we need to open command prompt and type who am I and hostname and ipconfig commands, and take a screenshot number 7, and screenshot number 8 would be the same command prompt with 3 commands for server 3 as well. So I'm going to go to server 2 here and right click on server 2 and open command prompt or command prompt admin on server 2, right? And just go ahead and type who am I, host name, ipconfig, right? Who am I, host name. So server 2 configured would be the name of the or the title of the screenshot, and server 3 configured for exactly same 3 commands for server 3. So I'll take a sample. So go ahead, guys, and take that screenshot with your name and the notepad in the background. Mail server. Well, I'll just screenshot 7 equals server 02 configured, and I'll go for the exact same screenshot for server 3. So I'll go to, if you have all taken the screenshot for this one with your name in the background or the actual machines. So I'm going to go to server 3 and right click, command prompt admin again here, press yes. So who am I? Host name, IP config. So that's server 3 screenshot. So server 3 configured would be the title. I'll just take that screenshot. Go ahead and take that screenshot now, everyone. So mail server equals screenshot 8 server 03 configured. There we go. Alright guys, so can you show it again? I was not able to do the screenshot. Yeah, so screenshot 7 is this. Go ahead, and this is server 2. So guys, if you've taken the screenshots till now, you can just upload. Go to the Blackboard Week4. The upload link is there already. Go ahead and upload, and bye-bye. See you in SQL class. No, we're not taking any more screenshots other than, oh, well, maximum is 8 now. You're welcome. So you're done with that. So go for screenshot 3, which is this. Okay, so that would be our final screenshot. If you have taken these two screenshots, we're going to continue. Guys, do catch up with those who are following the lab. It's really good for you to arrange some PC. Those who don't, try to arrange. And if you have even 16 GB, this lab is doable. And go for all the steps and catch up before the next class. Now those who have uploaded now, that's good. Go ahead and upload now the screenshots. Those who are doing the lab and need time, so just email me so I would know that you're gonna take time to upload that. Deadline is before the next exchange class, which is 1 week. That's a lot. So okay, well, this is it. So I'm gonna try to right click and power, and once we install Exchange, then we're gonna suspend machine. Right now I'm gonna shut down first the server 3 and shut down, and we're gonna go for shut down guest server 2 and server 1, shut down guest and shut down. So this is the screenshot we're following. So we'll start with 300 users, then we're going to go for Exchange prerequisites, and then we're going to install Exchange server, and we'll try to configure databases and introduction to the features. Till then, try to catch up to this, right? I think I copied that in OneNote, so I'll get it from OneNote at that in next class. Yeah, okay, cool. Alright guys, if there are any questions, let me know. Otherwise, see you next class. Go ahead and upload, and bye bye. I'm going to stop the screen video now. So